Welcome back, everybody, to TwoPools 2 Aftermath versus Game Legion B, DauT and Slam versus MBL and Nikov, the previous champions of TwoPools 1. MBL and Nikov narrowly edging out Viper and Taro back in the days. Now DauT and Slam will fight against them. Aftermath won their own group, whereas DauT and Slam actually received the second place in Group D after a fairly close set against Swords. I casted that yesterday with Dave. For this set, T90 will be joining me in a couple of moments. But before that, let's take a look at Aftermath Gaming.
In spring 2019, Jordan had returned after a long break and was signed up as the third member of Team Secret for Doubles Age, teaming with the Viper and Tattoo. Left out, DauT and Slam decided to join forces, and as Secret Team won the tournament. A surprisingly successful duo, they participated in the first two pools as well, where they reached the semi-finals. Considering their respective qualities, it should perhaps not have been unexpected, as they are both active, talented and experienced players. While they had not played together since 2016, they immediately found their marks. DauT was leading with archers and Slam supporting with cavalry. They've both evolved since, however, and it would not be surprising to see them switch roles this time. 2 years ago, Slam and DauT narrowly beat Vietnam Legends before losing to MBL, Hera and Nikov. They're both in good tournament shape, but considering the level of competition, that alone will not be sufficient to reach the final stages. They will need to prepare well and work on their coordination to be able to challenge the top teams.
I lied, this was DauT and Slam and not Aftermath. It happens. So for this set, T90 will be joining me just like for the other one. And we will have a quick look at the drafts before we get into the first game. So let me link up with T90.
This is where we say, oh, he's there. Hello, Lidakor.
Hello.
I was going to just constantly say, wow, Lidakor's the worst. Wow, Lidakor's the worst until you joined, so you acted like you could hear it. But anyways, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. Hopefully you're also doing well. Recovered nicely after Hidden Cup.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, what gives me energy is good games, and TwoPools has supplied that, so I'm happy.
Yeah, we're working on that, you know. We're working on that.
Cool. Well, what'd you think of the first two best of fives today? Because I wasn't expecting the last one to go that long.
I was surprised. I actually went with a 3-1 prediction for WWP, and I was pleasantly surprised how well Vietnam played. And I think this is more interesting when you look at the fact that White Wolf Plus will have to play either GLA, so Viper Taro, or Suomi in the next round, because they seem to show some weaknesses that Viper and Taro or Suomi could exploit.
Yeah, it's also tough for me to know how much you're able to really call a weakness, and how much you're also able to call a nature of TwoPools in some ways, right? If you fall into... It's hard to assume that you're going to have the civilizations you practice with for TwoPools, and I think that some teams might just be better at handling that type of adversity, right? Which I think saw from Hera and Leary. Hera and Leary looked really strong. Hera especially playing with Sicilians, Burgundians, two civs that people hate. So, but yeah, dude, as far as this set goes, I was just saying I think it could go to 5 games. MBL Nikov against DauT+Slam. It's a matchup we've seen many times over many years.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one, for sure. MBL and Nikov have a lot of experience with the TwoPools format, so they were the champions of the original event, and there is also some sort of TwoPools backstory to this one. Like 2.5 years ago, it was a little bit less than that, that was my first ever event I hosted. It was a hideout-only TwoPools system. That was basically the debut of this drafting system, and it was MBL Nikov versus DauT and Taro. And MBL Nikov won, and I think after that Nikov said that was the worst ever show match he played because it was only hideout.
That's such a Nikov thing. Hey, thanks for the show match. By the way, that's the worst ever show match I played in my life.
He didn't say it after, but like half a year, I think even after the first TwoPools tournament, Nico was streaming at one time and he was like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I once played a show match that was only hideout. It was so bad. And I was like, that is very similar to what I hosted a while back.
Oh man, there's a wonderful segue to be had here where I could say, well, we're about to say hi to DauT because DauT's playing in the next set. But Robo, he made a joke that he asked the question of who would make the worst jokes out of you and I today in this cast. So I'm not going to make that joke.
It's fine. We can compete for the worst choke title here.
Okay. All right, cool. That's a fun little side competition. So yeah, man, I'm going to pull up the draft here. We can talk about that, I suppose. You are ultimately in control of when we want to 14 here and start everything. But as we look towards the Civ draft from these teams, just to explain it for people watching, the civilizations surrounded by a green box, those are civilizations that a team picked for themselves, and then the TwoPools concept kicks in with the other boxes. Those are civs that were picked by the enemy. Is there anything that really catches your eye here, Lita? Of course, we have the home maps to talk about too.
I think what I like for AM is that they went for the less conventional maps. So Forest Pond, Cape of Storms are more of the unique maps of the event. DauT+Slam going for their good old-fashioned Regicide Fortress, which is their stronger map. I think the first thing that catches my eye is that there is no... Actually, there is Sicilians. I'm just blind. Yeah. I would have said, like, hey, where is Sicilians? But it's there. Overall, what I'm more interested in is giving Vietnamese to the opponent, which to me seems like a very, very good Archers event. Could be amazing for Regicide Fortress.
Yeah, you know what I'd have to do is I'd actually have to go through this and do a draft myself, because I wonder what civilizations are remaining at that stage. Because it does get kind of awkward in these draft scenarios, Lita, where you kind of have to give decent civilizations to the opposition. There's a few standouts, like maybe Sicilians and Turks can be awkward in some positions. Burgundians, Spanish can be awkward in some positions for GLB, but there's a lot of strong civs out there, and at least civs that can be used in a role. So maybe that's it. Maybe with the home maps, GLB doesn't really feel as though they're going to be seeing as many meta situations, and Vietnamese tend to just suit that meta archer role.
Absolutely. I think this is something that we discussed with multiple people, that currently in 2v2, the archers seem to be more important than the cavalry player, like maintaining that big group of archers hitting early imp. So it is interesting to see that players are drafting mostly archer civs as their pool 1 civs.
Yeah, I think the outlook also is different per team too. If you were to ask Yo would say Paladin is most important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you just resub to my stream while casting with me?
It is possible. I'm known. I had the button up for like 4 days, but I was like, this is the time for me.
Oh, wow. Lidacor, thank you for the 28 months. You're so great. Now I feel bad. I don't know if I have a resub on your channel available, but I think we should probably...
All right. Yeah, we should just
save
get
that
going.
for later.
You still have some time to resub, you know. Let's just go with game number 1 instead.
Sure. Now, these are recs, right? So for the viewers, so they're not confused. I don't have them available yet, and I'm waiting to see it posted in our group here from the almighty Robo, and then we'll get started. Game 1 Arabia, though, which team would you prefer? Because some teams are stronger on mixed maps, and some teams are stronger on Arabia.
This is interesting. I would probably prefer MBL and Nikov, just by looking at Arabia, but it's very tricky because what I noticed for Game of Legion, both for Viper Terror and DauT+Slam, is that they're very, very good at transitioning to trade in early imp, and that usually gives them a very nice boost once we go into like this post-Imperial scenario. So it is actually very tricky. I think early mid-game I prefer MBL and Nikov because I think they're mechanically a little bit better than DauT+Slam. But I think that after, like in post-imp, I would prefer DauT+Slam because that's where their macro is really going to start shining.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll get in here and we'll get started. As you know, with Capture Age connecting to the game, getting the scoreboard set up for the first game takes a second. We want to be in sync here, but Lita, before we actually get the games underway here, if you have to shout out a prediction of a winning team and a winning score, I think I haven't asked you this yet. Who would it be?
I'm gonna go 3-2 Aftermath.
Okay, that's actually precisely what I said before we ended up hopping in together here. So we're either both right or we're both wrong. So that works out, I guess.
Yeah, I think Regicide Fortress is a map where I think Gamer Legion B should have the upper hand. Forest Pond could go either way, so could T-Macro. And I would think that Cape of Storms is more like an AM map, and the drafts seem to be fairly even, so I think it's going to be a competitive set, but I think there is a bit of an edge.
Okay, cool.
To AM.
I had a slight issue with Capture Age Pro, so if you just want to go to 22 seconds, Lita, we could just...
Sure, I got used to that. I think...
Yeah.
Like, I've been casting with many people across these days, and there were series where I started every different game at every different time, and I was like, this time it's 25 seconds, now it's just 15. Alright, I'm at 22 seconds, so whenever you're ready, we can get going.
Yeah, let's go. Let's make it happen right now, and Lita, I'll let you do the introduction if you want, man. That's...
All
is
right.
it working for... Is it... Wait a second.
Alright.
Okay, I could see why we're having issues here. Yeah, it's a little bit janky here. I'm going now, and I'm about to hit 30 seconds.
All right.
If you want to, we'll figure it out, I suppose. Go ahead.
Yeah,
and take it away.
it's all cool. I think we're pretty much in sync. You can't
Cool.
synchronize this more than this. All right, so welcome everyone to the third quarterfinals of TwoPools 2. We'll have Aftermath versus Gamer Legion B here. MBL is going to be playing with blue Mayans. To the north, it's going to be Sicilians for Nikov in green. So they are using Sicilians as the cavalry civ. Franks will be the civ for Slam in red. And Bulgarians for DauT in yellow. Some interesting combination from GL.
Yeah, and laming already starting here from the master boar lamer himself. Not actually what his name means, but he'll take it. And he stole 2 sheep from DauT, and he was dangerously close to finding that rhino. So this is one of the many benefits of having Mayans, but it's one of the best archer civs.
Indeed, I feel like the approach is very, very different from the two teams. So one of the teams picks their pool 1 civ as a cavalry civ for this map, and the other team actually prioritizes the archer civ here.
Yeah, I think overall as well, it probably... what surprises me is that Slam is not going for the archer role. Wait a second. No, there's not even a real archer civ for Gamer Legion. Bulgarians don't get crossbow. So as MBL tries to steal these 2 goats, I think that this approach from Gamer Legion is not going to be meta whatsoever.
Yeah, that's not gonna be meta. Like, surprisingly, Bulgarians have very, very good cav archers. That's one of those rare civs where you have awful archers, but your CA is actually very good. The problem is getting to cav archers.
Yeah.
What I can imagine is maybe a Drush FC into straight cav archers, although I feel like that's still quite ambitious overall from GL.
Yeah, it's ambitious, and now he's minus 400 food because this darn eagle, man. Now DauT can push in his hunt here, and he can catch up, I suppose. But MBL, I think if anyone wants to go fast castle here, if he's able to get all of his resources at home in too, while the gold spots and the wood lines and everything's open, maybe he could consider going fast castle with all that food. Because DauT is as Nikov's even here. Oh, DauT's gonna hate his life, Lidakor. They're gonna lame the crap out of him.
Yeah, they will just... That's going to be ugly, and one of the differences between a 1v1 and a 2v2 is that even if you grab Loom early, which is not something that DauT has done, you have to be careful with your vills because the opponent can team up their scouts, and that could be a disaster for DauT at the start.
It is a disaster.
-1.
Aftermath have come to play here, man, and don't tell me DauT's gonna lose his scout. He loses his scout too. Oh, could you imagine a start that's worse than this? Down a villager, down 4 goats, and now you can't even use your scout to push in what's left of your remaining zebra and ostrich here. Wow.
Yeah, that is really rough, and we can pretty much say goodbye to a Drush FC here because at best this is going to be a Drush slow castle, but if DauT just goes for archers, then he's got no follow-up, so...
Sure.
This might be a double scout play because this kind of has to be.
Yeah, he's going to adapt in some way. I think that this is where you start to make a Dark Age farm or two. We'll see. Certainly, Slam's going to have the game of his life on the other side. And Slam doesn't look like anything funky's happened here. He has his resources. He'll be going up fast feudal. Now, something that's always bothered me about the Eagle, it's already one of the strongest units in Dark Age, but you can heal it inside your TC after all of that. It's just so crazy what players are able to accomplish with just one scout, and MBL is just going to go home. He's going to heal up, and he's adding a barracks now.
Indeed. And that is the main reason why these civs are used so often for laming, because you can pretty much get away with laming. You just go in, lose the HP, go back and heal it up. Slam actually could have found 2 of the goats that were lamed away from DauT because MBL didn't send them back to his TC.
Yeah, I don't know if that was part of MBL's plan or what, but he just kind of kept them hugging the edge of the map, and now he'll bring them in. And he'll actually find his other goats here too. And so, as I see the barracks is up for MBL, it feels like it's a rather late barracks if it's a drush. So it's probably feudal age. And yeah, he does click up. He's going for a very awkward forward gold. Both of his golds not looking too great over here.
Yeah, but I would have said that the primary gold is slightly better because at least it's at the back of his base. This gold mine is dangerously exposed unless he builds ranges in front, which could definitely be possible. And he either goes for straight archers or potentially men-at-arms. I could see men-at-arms working because you're up against Bulgarians, so if you're afraid of your opponent pushing you with men-at-arms, you can just go for your own.
Yeah, DauT's going to have some eco problems here. He's doing what he can, but it was a combination of the lane, but also everything else that went wrong. If he would have had that scout, he could know what the enemy's doing, could push in the deer, but he is going to have insta man-at-arms, and here he goes. I think even from the get-go here, Lita, you've got to be thinking about going against the grain as far as investment here. DauT will be in feudal much later than MBL, but what I'm talking about is maybe have Slam make a few additional scouts. Maybe have Slam switch into archers. Just something that might surprise the enemy, right?
Yeah, this is very tricky. Frankish archers is not really a great idea, but they might have no other option because DauT is gonna have nothing to really do here unless he's able to hit MBL's wood line, and if those are upgraded to men-at-arms, this suddenly becomes a very bad situation for MBL.
Yeah, maybe a bit of overconfidence for MBL, but he knows that DauT's Dark Age for now, but instantly when DauT hits Feudal Age, DauT gets the man-at-arm upgrade, and this is actually looking great for GL. Now, at the same time, we'll have MBL with man-at-arms at DauT's base, so we have to look at that, but that was MBL's only wood line. His berries have to be abandoned too. I guess it's a good thing he has goats for food.
And what's more important, as he might kill a villager from DauT, is that he's denying the range, which means it's harder to clean up the men-at-arms. DauT even went for 4 men-at-arms, and MBL runs into a TC fire as well.
Oh, jeez, dude. That was bad. I mean, he canceled the upgrade at least.
Yeah, he did.
But that was brutal. And DauT as well. DauT's underneath the TC. I think this might be first game of the day for both of them. They both need to get warmed up. So freaking sloppy over here between these two.
Yeah. Now, the range is gonna go up, so MBL will delay this, but I think the key for DauT is just to delay MBL, because once he gets to Castle Age, he's gonna have Cav Archers, but in Feudal, they have absolutely nothing they can do against Mayans.
Yeah, I would like to see MBL get another lumber camp up. He's actually rushing the blacksmith before that. I love how Slam has come over here. This is what I mean. Nikov might be expecting the pressure at his base. It's not coming. All that pressure is coming over to MBL's base. And it's just making things even worse for MBL. He's going to run out of straggler trees soon. And GL, I think, are in the much better position as Nikov runs underneath the... Okay. Oh, he almost ran underneath DauT's town center, and DauT has to react, Lita, and... It should be fine.
Yeah, it's all good. And I feel like the biggest thing here is that MBL's got no eco. Like, he's just taking stragglers a bit like a low elo Legends game.
Yeah, dude. I mean, a bit like, geez. I mean, at least he saved them and didn't take it in Dark Age. By the way, Del is not fine. He lost villagers there. So I don't know what to make of this game except to say that MBL and DauT are having disaster starts. And it might come down to who has the better job in the north, where both players are going for scouts.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And we got some scouts from Nikov here as well, trying to push DauT's base. And, like, DauT has defensive spearmen, but Sicilian scouts will just laugh at that.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, maybe Nikov could be more aggressive against that. I don't know how experienced some of the players are with that little bonus they have. I see, yeah, both players moving out with scouts with plenty of potential here. DauT Spearman out of position. Now it's chasing, and now you have Slam moving in, but I do like the walling from Nikov at home. Very, very safe here.
Yeah, Nikov is going for a safe walling. DauT ended up losing 3 vills in this game to Nikov. One of those was a Dark Age vill, and make it 4?
Oh, man. Loses another one there. Also, his Blacksmith's getting delayed, and now it's 2 people on DauT. And so I guess MBL's fine now. DauT is very much not fine. He's also switching into archers with the Civ that doesn't get crossbow, Lidakor.
Yeah, I feel like this is just the desperation that he needs to make something happen. I just don't understand the game plan, because they knew exactly. This is the meta, and we talked about this, that the archer Civ's supposed to be more important nowadays, and they have a Civ that doesn't even get crossbow.
Yeah. Yeah, on one hand, maybe they just didn't feel comfortable in Arabia, so they figured, let's just get rid of Bulgarians because it's so awkward for us in the future, but I mean, it's hard to say. You know, things fall apart so quickly as Aftermath is just flattening DauT with 4 weak units right now. Maybe that was it, Lita. DauT fell too far behind to really see what strategy they were going to go for, and they probably didn't have a lot of confidence going into this anyways.
Yeah, there's a chance that they just want to use the Civ that they don't want to use anywhere else.
Yeah.
But the Arabia game is quite important because, well, if you lose Arabia, then you gotta at least take away 1 home map from the opponent. DauT lost a combined number of 8 vills. He's nowhere close to Castle Age. Whereas Nikov is going up as the first player. Actually, he's the second, because we got Slam going up as well.
Ooh, Slam, though, with an opportunity there. And he actually takes this fight. And there was Spearman in there, so made him think twice about it. In the end, though, I don't think it was the best fight, right? He only has 3 scouts remaining, and 2 of them are weak.
Yeah, that was not a great fight. I think he just tried to commit as much as possible and trade some of the scouts to archers, but the archers got away. Slam was untouched the entire game, and that could give some small hope to DauT and Slam, but this needs to be a long game for DauT to have a chance to climb back into this one. It's very possible because DauT is a big boomer, but they're on the back foot right now.
MBL is such a player of extremes. He either walls the whole map by the 7th minute, or he doesn't wall at all. Look at his base. Like, a few walls when Knights could be coming soon would make sense. And Slam goes in there and snipes the weak villager. Nice little doink there on the wood line. But why is he so exposed here, Lidakor? It's pretty crazy.
Look at that market usage from DauT. That's disgusting.
Well, he has to do it. He has to do it, man. Oh, God. Just to click up. And he's close to clicking up. He will be faster than MBL. That might actually be something we look back on as a really important move from DauT.
Yeah, because if you take a look at the Vill idle time, MBL has 25 minutes, DauT has 11. Obviously, it's not ideal that you lost 8 Vills, but that partially is compensated by the fact that MBL invested a lot into army. Like, he made a lot of archers, and also a lot of Vill idle time.
You know, we've been talking a lot about how Bulgarians aren't ideal, and I think that's fair. But as you see the idols at MBL's base still just standing there, and now he's adding walls. The best civilization for Slam, or for Gamer Legion B, is Franks. And if Slam is able to outperform the Knights from Sicilians, which feel kind of underwhelming for me in some ways, there's an opportunity here, because it's not as if MBL's doing that well, though he, of course, took a lead over DauT.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, the 2 strongest civs in the game is Mayans and Franks, and the Mayans player was under pressure, and the Frankish player was completely untouched. Like, Slam wasn't harassed at all, and he's gonna have an easy free TC boom here.
Okay. So, DauT, he doesn't know what to make. He was thinking, do I make Knights? Do I make Cav Archers? Do I make Skirmishers? What do I do? Here he comes, and he will be in Castle Age in 20 seconds. I wonder what his plan is.
It could be a Kripos, but I feel like he would just buy himself a castle. And we talked about MBL's goals being bet. That castle drop might actually be legitimate.
Yeah, and it hits the wood line and the gold. And Slam is there to protect it. That will go up, and that is a Kripos. 1 of 2. MBL's whole game plan of just going into, oh, wait a second. DauT with the gates! With the gates, he protects his villagers. That was impressive.
I also loved how you almost said Dave instead of DauT.
Yeah, I know. DauT, you know, They're both such legends, right? It's hard to not confuse the two of them, as MBL has to leave his new walls to go to golds. This is going to get awkward from here.
Yeah, it is, especially with knights around, because now he will be heavily relying on Nikov to protect his villas, and I feel like MBL will just keep Krepos rushing the opponent here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if DauT continues to Krepos rush, and then if he can get some type of an eco behind it, I don't know if he can right now. Okay, let's see this moment. He's going to drop another one right behind the wood line. You'll get MBL's point of view. He can see it. Now, there's no support from Slam now, DauT. Don't do what people know you for.
Oh, boy. That is...
Okay,
Lord
DauT
DauT.
has some skirms. DauT!
73? Nope, 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 nope.
Yeah, and the skirms, of course, offer so little because they're just feudal age units. What's the build count now? DauT at 35, MBL at 45. I mean, that is something that needs to be watched and protected, though, because that could eventually complete, but MBL will just relocate his eco elsewhere. And that's not a DauT castle, it's a DauT Krepos, so it's a cheaper fail.
Yeah. I'm actually sad that the Gamer Legion doesn't have Sicilians for themselves, so we won't see DauT donjons today.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. I'm sure that it has happened before. Is DauT now realizes, well, we're behind. Let's just add siege. This is all probably a result of Gamer Legion recognizing they're really far behind. So DauT once said, "His Slam gets a raid in on MBL." DauT once said, "I don't build castles to get a position. I build the castle to win or lose the game."
And honestly, that might... Oh, Slam has a hole. Slam has a hole on his walls, and he's got nothing to defend back at home, and that's a lot of knights from Nikov.
Yeah, that's just... So much of his eco is going to go idle here. MBL at least has some defense there. But yeah, anyways, you were saying before this raid happened?
Yeah, what I was about to say, that those are very wise words from DauT. So, oftentimes you see pro players ending up in a stalemate and just unable to finish games. And you have to value that from DauT.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big risk, but he's not willing to enter stalemates. He's going to say, okay, I want to win here. And oftentimes it works out, so I like that mindset, honestly, from DauT, as funny as it sometimes is.
Yeah, and in one way or the other, he's going to finish the game, right?
That's for sure.
Man, Nikov has had an amazing start to this series. He has Sicilians, a civ that is perhaps a little bit questionable in many high-level players' eyes. Is definitely a pull 2 civ, and he has 78 villagers right now. Now, he is going to lose this fight, so I maybe picked the wrong time to compliment him. But he was about to add more stables, and if he can just deal with this from Slam, then I could see him doing all right. That said, DauT now has Mangonels, and he landed a pretty big shot on MBL's crossbows as DauT is trying to drop another Krepos.
Indeed. I feel like the biggest problem for Slam right now is that Slam lost 4 villas in this game, but he is behind by 13 compared to Nikov.
Yeah. He does have more knights, though, as knights are still in Slam's base, but Slam's getting some good kills, and the stables are just now coming up for Nikov. That got a little bit sloppy there. He wanted more production.
Yeah, especially because they have to close this game out early. They don't want to go post-imp against Frankish Paladins.
Ooh.
Oh, DauT.
Repair it. It should be good for DauT. MBL has to go for all those repair vills, or he loses his crossbows.
Yeah, but he's doing so. I love the staggered formation from MBL, though. That's a very, very smart thing to do, although the value might not necessarily be there.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the end, I think MBL will be happy with delaying this even further as there's an attack round from DauT. Okay. DauT's trying to repair.
And...
I guess if DauT didn't have only 40 villagers, this would be good stuff, right?
Oh, I guess he gets a decent value for that Mangonel now.
Yeah. It's just at what cost?
Yeah, I killed 10 crossbows. What did it cost?
Yeah,
Everything.
He's at 41 vills with 2 TCs right now. He's got no military to offer, and that Krepos is going to be denied. So MBL's got cheap archers. I don't think he's too bothered by this.
Yeah, not at all. And the way that this game is shaping out with basically a 1v1 between Slam and Nikov and MBL and DauT, both of those should be favoring Aftermath because DauT and Slam really have to rely on their teamwork to have the upper hand over MBL and Nikov.
Yeah, Slam with a few positive moments here. I mean, I think while Nikov has the villager lead, it certainly hasn't been efficient, and I don't think he's been able to send his vills where he would want them. Slam is on 4 TCs and still producing, but I think we're actually at a point now, Lita, where MBL can be happy to leave his base for the first time. Leave his base with those crossbows, then they could 2v1 Slam. And then I think Slam is going to have some bigger problems.
Yeah, the alternative is to just push DauT, who is
true.
quietly increasing his eco, and that's not something to overlook, because if AM isn't able to actually actively kill DauT, he could boom up quite nicely as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think maybe the logic right now is the units engage in the middle. Should be better for Nikov. But yeah, I think the logic right now is DauT's already like dead. You know, he has to reboom. So instead of trying to stomp him into his grave even deeper, just make sure Slam doesn't give an opportunity for Gamer Legion.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. To me, this game feels a little bit like Yo and Lig's games, where you have one player that's trying to cause chaos. In this case, that's DauT Crepost Rush, and then just hoping that the other player will snowball everything with better eco and cavalry, but I'm unsure if that's gonna happen. We're talking about even knight numbers, but there is 36 Mayan crossbows on the field as well.
Yeah, I think it's pretty realistic for MBL to be able to go Imperial behind this soon. He does have a lot of eco, and it wasn't pretty in many moments, but it's certainly prettier than DauT. And in Slam's case, he has to produce, right? So maybe a little risky for MBL to move in here on his own currently, but Slam has to produce in Castle Age. This is the only way that he and his team stay alive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what they can hope in is that DauT will reboom, and honestly, DauT is not doing a bad job booming, so when he just needs to full boom, he's still dangerous. And I feel like the big thing here is that Nikov is forced to chase Slam, and that buys a lot of time for DauT.
Does buy time for DauT. You're very good at looking for positives for DauT, I've noticed. And let's see if there's another one here. There's a Maganel on the hill, Lita. Okay, well, Lita, DauT buying himself more time here, my friend.
He is doing it very well, and I am starting to feel like momentum is slowly shifting towards DauT and Slam, because they're taking very, very good fights, although we'll have 2 imp players for AM in a moment.
Yeah. MBL's clicked up. See Nikov's adding forward barracks, too. You wouldn't normally feel comfortable going into pikemen, but I think you're comfortable when you know DauT's not going to have archers. This game continues to look like it's going to be rough for Gamer Legion, but at least like they fell so far behind, they're at least giving themselves a chance from this position, which could be seen as a confidence booster going forward, if nothing else.
Indeed, and I totally agree with Nikov adding pikemen here, because the thing is that you are basically 2 versus 1. It's a single unit composition for DauT and Slam. If you just add pikemen, GL has absolutely no answer to that, or at least not in the foreseeable future. DauT is actually getting back there in villager count, so if GL somehow holds out for like 5-ish more minutes, things could start getting in their favor, but holding out for 5 minutes here is going to be tough.
Yeah, I think it's a big ask. And it's not just vill count, but it's how long you've had villagers too. He might be climbing up towards 100. But his a lot of those villagers are new. They don't have a task yet. They're not bringing in any like crucial resources. There's not a flow to the eco yet. So as Slam is going all in here, and he is holding on his own. Sicilians get help, right?
I think so. They are technically an infantry civ, so if they don't get it, that's awkward. Yeah, they do get it, and they have full upgrades on them.
Well, Vikings are technically an infantry civ, and they don't get it.
Yeah, honestly, Vikings is more like a eco civ. Let's just say that.
Yeah, they definitely did not classify that civ properly when they made it. But, oh, no, Slam! Slam is going to be like DauT. You turned me into you with your performance in this game. Now I have to do one too, just because of how you played.
Yeah, it's like, Slam is probably like, look, DauT, I can do this too.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's not going up there. What a way to start a series. It's just... You just can't avoid the memes with DauT.
DauT is actually going into imp. Yeah. And it's a beautiful and well executed imp into GG.
Yeah, click imp GG. That's a build order that I think many people watching right now, Lita, are familiar with. Not bad. Well, the positives here is that Bulgarians Franks is such a weird stack, but I think one big negative civ-wise is if you're gonna play like that on Arabia, this is gonna be the result. Do you even want to use Franks? They tried, but now Aftermath will take the win and we'll move on towards Gamer Legion's prepared maps.
Exactly. I feel like my big problem with this Bulgarians Franks matchup is that one of the advantages that DauT+Slam should have is preparation in terms of drafting. Like, they have support from the other GL members, and if you would have to predict who should have the better draft, that should be DauT+Slam, and it's a disturbing sight that they have a so bad civilization combo for Arabia.
Yeah, you know what? You could actually flip the script on that since it's TwoPools and people are giving civs, and you could say, well done, Aftermath, to maybe give them that civilization, because we'd have to go through the draft and we probably have to talk about the other maps and the planned civs, but my guess is, Lita, that with the way Gamer Legion wants to play the rest of the maps, the only civ that was remaining might have been Bulgarians. They might have had a plan for Burgundians. They might have had a plan for Celts, Spanish, Burmese, all those civs. So, in fact, look at the draft for a second, Lita. There's actually not many archer civs that were available there. Burmese, pretty bad with crossbow if you're able to do that on Arabia. Burgundians, kind of awkward with crossbow if you want to accompany with Franks. Spanish don't get crossbow either. Celts, probably not ideal for crossbow. So that's just great job from Aftermath to give them an awkward spot.
Yeah, one of the strategies that you can use in TwoPools is to sort of overload your opponent with cavalry civs, and or if they like have a very, very cavalry heavy approach in their pool 1, you can overload them and just make them have mismatched civs. Although we will have maps like Forest Pond and Regicide Fortress where the classical archer plus cavalry composition is not that important. Like, Burmese work very nicely for Forest Pond, Spanish for Regicide Fortress. So I think the real maps that they need an archer and the cavalry civ is probably Team Acropolis and Arabia.
Okay, cool. Well, it's easy to talk to her blue in the face on the civilizations, but let's hop into game number 2 then, if that works.
All right.
I'm gonna get everything set up. We're trying to sync this up. It's only gonna get better from here, I think.
Yeah. And, I'm at 10 seconds, so whenever you're ready, we are good to go.
Cool. Yeah, I could do that. We'll do a quick 3, 2, 1, and everyone will be good. 3, 2, 1, Lita.
Go.
And we are good. So, Lita, talk me through. And I'm not trying to imply that I feel like it was a negative choice, but there's a lot of crazy maps in TwoPools. What changes did you make with Regicide Fortress, and why Regicide Fortress as a map?
So the idea when you build up this map pool was that, I would just like to point out that DauT blocked that boar with his king, so it doesn't hit the wheel. That was a nice move. So the idea was to have sort of a representative of every single map type. So, for example, we have a semi-closed map, Hideout, which, by the way, hasn't been played at all, so players don't really like it, apparently, when compared to the other maps. We have Arabia, of course. We want to have a closed map, and your real 2 closed candidates are RF and Arena. And RF escalates faster.
Yeah.
And that means that there is like less downtime when we just have nothing to talk about and everybody is just booming. So that is a positive. And on the other hand, for RF, we decided that, you know, if you have the towers up, then it usually is just a booming fast as well. If you remove the towers, you give a bit more freedom to aggression. So we try to mix the faster start of Regicide Fortress with the potential early aggression element of Arena for RF.
Okay. Yeah. I think I really like it. I think what's also pretty cool is combined with the concept of TwoPools, it's quite nice because you cannot have a stack of, I don't know, Spanish and Mayans, for example, which we saw a lot in the past. And my capture age has frozen on my end here. Okay, we're back. Have you been having issues with that, by the way? Or is everything running smoothly?
After a couple of games, it sometimes freezes, but...
Okay, that's not too bad.
That shouldn't cause a desync. It is just, you know, rendering stops for a moment.
Yeah. But let's break down the civs. Perhaps we have MBL playing as the Turks. So I'm thinking maybe we might see some Janissaries in this game. It's a potential for Cav Archers later or something wacky. He's across from Nikov, his teammate, and Nikov is Vikings. Not a civ I would ever really expect to see on Regicide Fortress. And then DauT is Chinese, which I think is the best Regicide Fortress civ. And then Slam is Spanish, which is top 5 Regicide Fortress civs.
It is a Spanish, probably the best with the Chuka news, with their eco. The team bonus to have longer lasting farms also works very nicely.
Yep.
Turks is actually, I think, a good pick. In TwoPools 1, that's basically what you could see all the time. Like, on Wobbly, Turks were even worse. So you always gave the opponent Turks, Vietnamese, and Khmer. Funnily enough, many of those civs are now Pool 1 civs. But Turks are actually a better version of Spanish when it comes to unique unit pushes. What I'm more curious about is how you match it up with Vikings, because Vikings can have a nice early imp push, but after that they stall out because they just don't have anything amazing in late game, so to say.
I find it really interesting as Slam's King passes MBL Scout. I don't know. I don't like the civs for Aftermath. I think if you were to choose between Spanish and Turks, Spanish are the superior civ of the two. Both will go gunpowder. One can run away, one can't. So maybe you've got to do something to force fights early here, Lita. I don't know if Fast Imp Arbalest is an option for Nikov with a boom. Maybe he could do that. Or, okay, he's got an archer range, make crossbowman in the mid game. But something has to happen for Aftermath to have success here, because otherwise the stack of Spanish and Chinese is just tough to stop.
Yeah, it is tough, and I think they have the civs to make something happen, though, especially with no towers. If you look at DauT and Slam base, both of them have castles that won't protect most of their resources. So, like a Janissary push with 2 petards can always catch the opponent off guard. Something that DauT and Slam did, I believe, against Swords in one of their sets.
Yeah, they did. Well, it wasn't... I don't know if they did it, actually. But I don't think I casted that first round, so you would probably know better than I would, of course. I think it was also Jordan and Nilly who had a game. I think Jordan petarded through. But I was not expecting an archer range opening here from Nikov. Now, what's weird about that is, start with the barracks, so you can go archer range blacksmith as your buildings to go castle age. Nikov went archer range market, which means that he needs to then make a blacksmith if he wants his archers to be of any value. So I don't foresee him actually making archers. I think he just made this for later.
Yeah, the other thing is that he's not making archers, and if he wanted to like make an early crossbow push happen, he would be messing up archers by now. The only reason to wait would be Cav Archers, but Viking Cav Archers would be a massive surprise here.
Viking Cav Archers.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of those, but they are as underwhelming as they sound like.
Yeah, man. It's like, I want to see someone go Vietnamese Cav Archers, because technically you get more HP on them, right? Even though it's not like a go-to Cav Archer civ, it's pretty decent. All right, well, scouts are, for the most part, scouting around. MBL's actually healing his up inside of his castle, and with Turks, that will be a light Cav soon, so maybe a bit more middle control with the scout. We expect booming, but also maybe MBL will make Janissaries. I think it's certain that Slam is going to make some Conquistadors when he's in Castle Age in about 40 seconds.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting matchup, because how do you engage Janissaries with Conks? As Nikov is having some massive market usage here, so we kind of get the answer for the market. He had to balance his eco. He just bought 100 stone for a TC. He didn't mine the stone, because he only started 150 stone. Yeah. So you either mine 50 while going up, or you just buy. And he decided to buy here.
Yeah, it's a interesting approach. I actually kind of like it, because you could argue you're making use of wheelbarrow a little bit more if you don't have villagers walking back and forth to get the stone. Plus, if you're going straight boom, having that market can help. He'll probably send a few villagers back to gold to buy food. But yeah, so I've actually played a few games actually where Janissaries and Conks tend to face up, and it's basically a mobility versus range type thing. Janissaries have more range, but Conquistadors feel to be more realistic in a team game, I think, because they can shift around and move when need be.
Yeah, indeed. Now, I think the bigger problem for AM is that if this continues, the Spanish will have the Paladin available, and I just don't know what Turks do in late game. Like, maybe heavy CA and then the Viking player goes berserk. That's the only thing I can imagine.
Yeah. It's just another game in this series where one team civs are just so much more prepared. Like, in late game, if you go, like, I don't think berserk and Cav Archer is actually realistic lead. So I'm thinking mini boom into fast imp and try and get an early lead. Turks can do that with fast chemistry with bombard cannons. Maybe camel bombard cannon, Cav Archer bombard cannon, and then Vikings can do that with arbalest and treb.
Yeah, I feel like if you're DauT+Slam, you're actually preparing maybe even a hub and siege push against the MBL, because his options are either CA or the alternative is heavy camel. But both of those would die to a hub and siege from Spanish.
Yeah, there's Slam sitting behind the wood line. It's like, I'm going to get you. He's not going to get anything there. I think you need to chop through one more layer of trees and most of these wood lines to be ranged by something. But Gamer Legion B with the slight boom lead, that comes down to Spanish town centers building faster. And also the fact that Chinese start with the additional villagers.
Indeed, and we got DauT on stone. So he either wants to add the 4th TC or potentially another castle for Chukanu's, grabbing a monastery for some relics. Slam is also... is Slam? Okay, yeah, Slam has a monastery and he's going for the relics himself.
Yeah, I think that just any type of aggression, really, to keep MBL and Nikov in their base for as long as possible is good here. MBL's not even making Janissaries. He figures it's not worth it, but yeah, just take all the map control you can, because you know that there's going to be a pushback from Nikov and MBL and early imp. And it's DauT, right? So 4th TC, you called it. He wants to boom. And I've seen this approach with Chinese a lot. And on Regicide Fortress too, is I guess on Arabia, you don't see a lot of 4 TC booms anymore, but I've seen 4, 5, and in one case, I forget who, might have been DauT, had 6.
Yeah, it wouldn't be alien from him.
Yeah. But the conks haven't really contributed too much, right? So I guess it's good that Slam's not overcommitting to them, but he did delay his 3rd town center, which is, I think, why Aftermath's now taking the villager lead. So I'm with you. Maybe if you're making conks and the enemy's making nothing, maybe you should make a petard or two and try and break into the enemy base. There are still some exposed regions in there.
Yeah, and I think Nikov is prepared for that. He has placed his houses and archer range market in a way that even if he gets petarded, he's gonna have a second layer behind that helps him a little bit. But yeah, Slam needs to do something with these conks, because delaying the 3rd town center is going to hit his eco compared to MBL. He's at 48 eco compared to 58.
Yeah. Yeah, now, I think this is going to be similar to what Lix tried to do in the previous set with a forward castle against Chinese. I see Nikov's on stone. So my thought here is he will go imp, and he'll try and take the map with probably crossbow, as I see a range for him. I believe we'll see crossbow, arbalest, and then a forward castle drop near DauT's base, and it just will come down to, can DauT defend from that with a similar Imperial time and with military? He has not made Chukunu. Oh, no, I lied. Never mind. He has one Chukunu, so I guess that's what he'll make.
Yeah, and once again, we're seeing that Vikings is just your eco save here, because really what Nikov wants to capitalize on is that hand cart, and just... It's sort of a fast imp, but it's not a weak eco fast imp. It is more about, I have a so strong eco that I can imp faster than anyone else.
In theory, MBL could just micro his Janissaries from the range he has, but he loses one. The thing about Janissaries, and I guess this applies to conks as well, is they do not feel very accurate sometimes. So it's not so easy to just say, oh, 2 more range, easy hits.
Yeah, it's not. It kind of feels like, you know, you try shooting and hope that you hit something, but still, the extra range is going to help quite massively here for MBL to just hold those walls, and they should have no trouble here. But look at DauT. DauT is also imping, and he's gonna have a slightly better eco compared to his opponent. And he is sitting on 1 relic. Slam also has 1, and bringing in a 2nd as well.
What is Nikov doing? Is he gonna remember? Okay, he has a blacksmith. But it's weird to me that he's making skirms. But then again, if you're expecting Chukunu and Conk, you always have to worry about Spanish switching into Paladin. But maybe Elite Skirm is an option for Nikov.
Maybe
but,
Camel
pushing
Elite
it across
Skirm?
the map is not right now.
Yeah, Camel Elite Skirm might be on the mind of Aftermath, but Camels are very, very far away here for MBL. Like, he's not going into Imperial, and he's going for University, so he's thinking about clicking up.
Mm-hmm. All right, the calm before the storm. We have not seen a whole lot go down, really, except booming. And if there's any map where we're going to speculate on civs and units, this would be it. People are really getting the true casting experience here.
Unless the game lasts 5 minutes. Oh,
Yeah,
Nikov. Oh, boy.
Oh. I was wondering if delaying that blacksmith might actually hurt him, because he just now hit Imp. He doesn't have any armor upgrades or anything, and we'll actually see a castle here from DauT. And I think DauT, with his own crossbows, is going to be able to take the forward spot himself, which, as we said, probably not ideal. And again, it is DauT.
This is tricky because now it's gonna be Bracer on Nikov's crossbows, and things could get really rough for DauT here in a moment.
I think Nikov doesn't quite have enough.
Yeah, it's
he
tricky.
does not quite have enough.
I can see Nikov's mind right now is like, should I commit to this? Or, yeah, I should just play this one safe. But if this castle goes up, that means Chukonu will be coming, and the Kongs are also coming to help out.
Yep. Still weird to me that Nikov doesn't have Elite Skirm yet. To make the skirms and not click Elite Skirm is very questionable.
He also doesn't have ballistics.
He scrambled down that university. He went Imp too fast. He made it to Imp, but he wasn't prepared for it, man. This is crazy. This is what happens when your eco's too good. And DauT at 100 villagers, Slam at 85. I mean, this is just a beautiful spot. As MBL comes over with Janissaries, this is a unit that does not translate well into the future. This is just Nikov and MBL. Granted, I don't think they really had a lot of options here against these civs because it's so strong, but not working out at all.
Yeah, exactly. This kind of feels like a situation where, as if Gamer Legion had the better civs and AM decided that, hey, we just want to use our civs that we don't want anywhere else.
Exactly, yeah. I think it feels as though they've looked at it that way, which can happen in drafting scenarios where you kind of like go into it knowing you're going to be at a disadvantage. But there's still potential with Elite Skirm, I think, because until Slam gets Paladin out, Elite Skirms will actually be very strong against Kongs and enemy skirmishers and archers.
And MBL is gonna go CA. Indeed, here comes Sipahi. And CA against Elite Skirm. Last time I checked, that doesn't really check out.
Yeah, not well. But Cav Archers will... It's foreseeing the Paladin switch, I think, as MBL's Janissaries, where are you going? Oh, gosh. Yeah, well, Aftermath, they're looking about... They're in as good a spot as maybe Slam and DauT were in the mid-game last game. Or maybe that's an exaggeration. It's not that bad for Aftermath.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have Light Cav or Hussar even for MBL. But they will have zero answer to Paladins, and Slam is working towards those.
Yep.
Although, Slam is still heavy on Kongs, but he should be thinking about Paladins now.
Yeah, his eco's really good. When you're going for those Kongs, it only costs wood. Or sorry, what am I talking about? Food and gold. So you normally have the eco to make the Paladin switch. You also can utilize the Kongs. He's going in after these Cav Archers. Now, MBL does have a civilization, which is really tough to kill off in late game. We're talking late game potential from Turks, 14 range bombard cannons, 100 HP Cav Archers, and free Hussars, and maybe bombard towers if it goes late. So,
and very, very hard to kill Cav Archers even. So,
yeah,
it's a matter of keeping that Cav Archer blob alive. And I feel like the problem with CA here is that this map is not about mobility. This is about like brute force power. So it doesn't matter that MBL can run away if he just gets overrun by Cavalier that's coming in for Slam.
Also important to note that there is only one corner secured for Aftermath. Trade is already a factor for Gamer Legion. They have the markets ready, at least DauT does. Slam needs to get a market in the south.
Slam
it's actually funny.
Yeah.
Slam is marketing in the left side. So they haven't decided which way they're going to trade yet, but they have 3 of the 4 corners for the trade.
Yeah, indeed. A bit of a miscommunication there for GL, as Nikov is trying to hold this castle, but ecos are pretty much even. But Game Legion already has a massive army lead, and look at this. I love this castle from Slam. Because even if they don't trade to that corner, they will deny that completely from Aftermath.
How much do you want to bet that DauT and Slam are arguing right now? Like, no, go to my corner. No, I already have the markets. Go to my corner. Slam will be like, I have a market. DauT will be like, I have 2 markets. That's probably what's happening.
And Slam continues, okay, I'm just gonna add 2 more markets, so I'll have 3 in this corner to convince you to build yours the way I like it. And Turkish Hussars are great with the extra Pierce armor, but not against Chukonu, that are just missing Rocketry and Elite.
Yep. Yeah. And it was wise from DauT. He knew Skirm opening would work, and now he's switching right into the unit he ultimately wanted. Slam did a similar thing with Kongs into the Cav, and Cav makes a whole lot of sense. And, you know, AM, they're going to fight on here. Both Nikov and MBL, they are known for being able to stay in these real tight competitive games, but they just cannot trade. And it's up against Spanish, and Spanish get more gold per trip, so there's so many disadvantages right now.
Yeah, they just don't have an answer to Cavalier, soon Paladin even. Slam's Kongs also break into MBL's Wood line, which is just a further annoyance, and there is just no answer to the Paladins soon. Cav Archers are nice, but when you have a lead Skirm support, it doesn't matter.
Slam's the one, of course it's Slam, who decides to make his markets in the south. DauT would rather lose the game than have to be the one to give way. But that's actually, I mean, there's a big lead right now for GL, and I think they still will win the game with it, but that's actually quite bad that they didn't talk about that. They could have trade running already. So I guess it's good that they're ahead, because otherwise in a closer game, it'd be more of an issue.
Exactly, because Slam pretty much wasted a bunch of wood on those markets, and he's gonna have to delete those, otherwise the trade cards will run through the middle of the map, because those are the furthest away.
MBL kind of holding on his own right now. It is kind of funny that Nikov, I guess while he can't contribute anything with Vikings... Oh, wait a second, Nikov got to the corner.
Oh.
Maybe this isn't quite as convincing. I mean, it's an Arbalest and 4 Skirms, but maybe this is a sign that if Gamer Legion gets leads in closer games, that they wouldn't close it out quite as convincingly. But the GG's called anyways, I guess. There's just
exactly. I wonder if Nikov lost his king, because he was already out before the GG was called, and I'm trying to look for his king right now, and I can't see it. Is there I don't think there is a king hotkey in this capture age.
I know that if you do... I think it has the same hotkey as in the game. And hold on, let me see if it's working. I think... Oh, it's not working. Hold on, I'll go into the game and see if it works for MBL, and then we can test it. Okay, works for MBL, and then for Nikov... He doesn't have a king!
He lost it somewhere.
Like, yeah, I mean, I don't... It's probably the least exciting King Snipe ever, because Nikov's dead anyways. He might have even thrown it forward, so...
If you rewind a little bit to the moment where the castle was ablaze, when the king pops out, he's going to start running towards MBL's Cav Archers, and that's where the skirms are at for DauT.
Ah, I see, okay. So he ran it forward.
Exactly. And he just runs into a bunch of skirms and Chukonu. And obviously, if you lose the king, you lose the game immediately, and MBL just taps out. This is not the first time that AM loses kings on this map in TwoPools.
Yeah, I don't think... I mean, I don't think it mattered too much.
No,
and
not
it's
at
very
all.
possible that Nikov just said, well, we're dead. The Vikings are useless, and sent his king forward. So maybe that was not really a snipe from DauT, but more suicide from Nikov's king. But either way, the score is 1-1. And Lita, I think the theme so far in this particular set is that it's clear that both teams are drafting pretty heavy for their home maps, but they're not really expecting or having an answer to the enemy's plan at all.
Yeah, and that actually favors Aftermath, because if you just win your own home map, then they will have a free 2 outing because they won Arabia. So that is going to help quite a bit for Aftermath. GL will be forced to take away a game from Aftermath, otherwise they are in trouble. But indeed, now it's an even scoreline, and we will have Game number 3 on Forest Pond. I'm actually curious. You asked me about Regicide Fortress at the beginning of the previous game. Now I'm going to ask you, what do you think about Forest Pond?
Oh, it's well, I'm ready to go when you are. We can do a quick 3, 2, 1. But I think it's my favorite map in the map pool, personally. It's produced some really good games. It is I'm a big fan of hybrid maps where water is important, but it's not the most important thing too. And so I think this really fits the bill. It lures people into a false sense of security because you have walls, but those walls might not necessarily be enough for you. So yeah, to answer your question, I absolutely love Forest Pond.
And we'll have DauT in Italians in yellow, alongside Celts for Slam in red. Sort of what we expected with no kind of cavalry plus archer combo, unless you count for Celtic paladins that you could tell a lot of stories about.
Yeah.
Yeah, others said Mongols for Nikov in green and Koreans for MBL in blue. Which of these two civs do you prefer?
Okay, so normally what I've seen on this map is you have pretty distinct roles. And instead of having someone go water and one person go land, what I've seen more often than not is one person goes water, another person goes fast castle. So you could make an argument. I mean, I think I like the civilizations better for MBL and Nikov, because you can make an argument for either of their civilizations going water or fast castle. I think it's probably smarter to have Nikov as the Mongol player take advantage of the hunt bonus, bring in the food, and go fast feudal to win water for the team. And then maybe Lita, and it seems crazy, do you go fast castle into war wagons or like a towered rush or something if you're MBL?
Ours could also work, but I feel like you are better off if you play fast castle war wagons, which will be tough to stop for DauT. It's also worth noting that Koreans don't have demos, so it's very unlikely that MBL goes for water because of that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, so on the flip side, I don't think that Celts and Italians are really it's not a combo where I expect to see the unique unit at all early. So I think it would make sense for DauT to go water with Italians. It's a good civ for that, and maybe the only that can compete with Mongols in their uptimes. Do you have the Celt player go fast castle and boom possibly then, and just go 3 TCs?
It's tricky. I feel like we could see fast castle from DauT. That could be interesting, because he's Italians, and normally Italians would fight water. But if you think about it, Celts might be a better early fire galley civ than Italians are, because their wood income will matter a lot, and what you're mainly looking for on this map is like an early feudal age fire galley play. And I think DauT has a better option at fast castling into potentially early Genoese crossbows, or just fast castle into boom, than Slam is, because if he's just booming, DauT will get castle dropped by the Korean player. That's the main problem I am having here.
Yeah, that's been the worry, is when you don't have the ability to make your own castle, or not the ability, but just it doesn't feel natural. Sometimes people will take advantage of that. But that is the predictable outlook, and I forget who MBL and Nikov were playing, but they were playing someone in their group, and I thought that Nikov was going to go fast castle into, I think, Erenbai with Burmese, and he actually went on water alongside MBL, and they ended up winning water, and now that I think back, I think it was Heresy that they were able to completely surprise, just because the enemy expected pretty much what we're talking about right now.
It looks like Slam will find 2 sheep to lame away from Nikov here that spawned outside of the walls, and they might also deny the deer push from Nikov. I like that, because even though Nikov is gonna click up fast, obviously you want to limit Mongols' access to those pushable hunt as much as possible.
Okay, so DauT is going up to feudal. Now, I don't think that's a very impressive time for Italians, because it is cheaper for Italians to go feudal. The fact that Slam beat him there tells me that maybe DauT's build wasn't as clean as he would have wanted. But we have DauT and Slam going for feudal age times that represent competing for water. So it will be Nikov fighting against 2 people for water control. And MBL probably just saying, hey, good luck to you. I hope you do well. And wait a second. This is not a fast castle build for MBL. He will do something similar.
Interesting. Like, he can go fire galleys, but the lack of demos hurts, and this pond is too small for Gallis to maneuver, so I don't think that that's something that he can legitimately go for.
I'm surprised to see all 4 players doing this. But maybe it comes back to what I had just said, where MBL feels as though it's expected that he will go fast castle. And so he's going to contribute in some way on water. I mean, could be an archer build too, but you're not seeing a barracks yet. Everyone just a lot on wood, a lot on gold, and additional docks.
Yeah, it looks like we'll have a double fight for water. Now, one thing that we have to consider for AM is that they know that they're up against big boomers like DauT and Slam. So if you give them the water very easily, DauT and Slam will have a crazy fish boom on those.
Yeah, I mean, I actually prefer the position for GL now, just based on how this game is playing out. You have 2 people in feudal age around the same time. Now, this Nikov's going to have a nice early window here, don't get me wrong. But Celts with their wood bonus, normally pretty solid on water with that. Italians with their dock techs and cheaper castle age can be helpful too with the transitions. So, Scouts all fighting, actually, kind of near Nikov's base. And I guess Slams is eventually going to go down there, as he also has to defend on water.
Indeed, and he's going to potentially get his dock denied, maybe even lose that docking will. And that third dock missing is a big deal, because Nikov already has dock number 3 up.
Okay, well, dock goes up here. And Nikov did lose HP on both of those fires, so overall, it's not too bad as far as the fight's concerned, though I think Slam might need to wait for DauT to arrive. But yet, lacking demos could be really awkward for MBL.
Yeah, like, it is possible to win water without those when you have Nikov helping. It's a matter of you need excellent coordination, because you need the demos to kill the opponent's demos as well. And just one bad move on this tight little pond and you lose 2 fire galleys.
I think that's maybe why. Dude, this is going to be awkward to coordinate. It's always demos are the most difficult, as we see 1-for-1 there to coordinate with casters. But there's just so many fires. What is this? All the colors of the rainbow in the middle here.
Yeah, indeed. But this is the moment where we're getting to the stage where Mongols don't get any bonus for this water fight, and the Celts will just be sitting on that wood bonus so well. Especially because Nikov doesn't have double bit axe, a sight that we probably got used to seeing.
Oh, Nikov. Oh, jeez, dude. I'm a little used to that. But yeah, I'm a little surprised as we see a demo there. We'll see more demos. I just don't think that this makes a lot of sense for Aftermath strategically to have gone to water against Italians, Celts like this. Also, it's so funny to me because each player only has 3 or 4 fishing ships, so they're not even gaining that much, but the potential gain is why everyone just keeps canceling each other out here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, at some point, they will just let those demos hit because they don't have time to micro all of this. It's actually a very massive pond. And also, the pond is running out of fish rather fast, so at some point you're gonna have to give up on the pond and say, okay, whatever, we can just focus on land.
Yeah, those eco transitions are always things to look to. How many farms do players have, if they have farms? But hard to look at that, of course, when players need to micro the fights. But for now, it still could swing either way, with the demos possibly coming out. And I just want to see one big explosion in the center where everything disappears. This is... Lidacor, I'm going to be honest, this is one of the silliest things I've ever seen. What is this? It just looks so weird, man. I can't even imagine having to play it.
It's a fire galley rainbow.
This is our new water meta. This is the more balanced water meta. What in the name of it? So weird, man.
Oh, man. What's even more weird is that despite the fact that DauT and Slam are supposed to win this, they're losing by a massive margin on the water now.
Yeah. A little bit, man. And I can understand it. It's got to be awkward to micro away from those demos. And we know how... It almost feels like if you fall back for a bit sometimes on water, you'll then get an advantage because you can pop out with demos to surprise the enemy. Like, watch here. This is probably what will happen to MBL. But no, MBL on point here with pretty solid micro. Yeah, hard to cast here, but are you seeing anything else? Okay, Nikov going to berries now.
MBL going into
MBL on the way to
castle.
Castle Age. Okay.
That is the big deal here. Slam is also going to click up, but I think this is the moment where if you're MBL, seeing that DauT is fighting on water means that DauT doesn't have any land army. I could see him sending 7-8 villas on stone and dropping a forward castle. Even if he doesn't have a great eco behind that one, a forward castle could mean so much on this map because they could just trap DauT within his own base.
I think what MBL would prefer to do is send 2 villagers and make a guard tower and then go Mangonel push and boom behind it. You know? Like, that is a very common MBL occurrence where you have forward villagers with a siege push and adding economy behind. It would take a while even with Koreans to mine that stone. So I guess for now the thought process is let's still focus on water. Let's make sure we win there. And maybe turtle ships perhaps? That would be cool.
I mean, they would definitely look nice, and they're not that bad on this map because it is a very, very tight little pond. But what's more important is that Slam is already losing water, so I don't think there is a need for turtle ships anymore because GL seems to be losing water here. Not necessarily DauT, but Slam is pretty much off from water now.
Yeah. There's a lot of different maps and civ combinations you'll see in this tournament where you'll have variety of strategy, and we talk about the clashes of those strategies. This is one of the rare occurrences where they have both gone for this same exact strategy, so it's just who out executes essentially. And so Slam's probably like, well, I committed to water, let's just stay on water, I don't want them to win, and he's going to try his best here. But they are almost... Well, it looks like Aftermath has double the population or close to it, and I expect that to only grow as DauT, these fires.
Oh, that's a disaster. That's a disaster for him. Slam is gonna have War Galley first compared to Nikov.
Yeah.
So he could actually try regaining the water, but this is the moment where you start thinking about, is the water important anymore? Because the amount of fish that's left might not justify committing this much to water.
I think... Depending on how you do it, it is. So if you see villagers walk alongside the shoreline and dock towards the center, there's a lot of very close fish out there. So since players still have their fishing ships, I remember Nikov was actually transporting villagers around. But I'm with you, man. Switching into farms would make a whole lot of sense. And I think everyone's doing that. You have Slam on 3 TCs now, MBL on 2, and one
turtle
of them
ship
is on stone. So
I'm sorry to interrupt. There's a turtle ship.
Woo! Yeah, finally, these water fights are exciting. And DauT is, I guess, looking for MBL's fish. And instead of finding fish, he finds a turtle.
They're
so majestic, man. Now, how do they move? There's no sail, and the oars don't move. It's not very definitive, is it?
It's not.
No one's in there rowing. I think we should complain to the devs about that. Oh! Oh my god! That demo from DauT was sick. He took out all of MBL's fish. What a desperation play.
I mean, talk about good demo snipes. It definitely was one of those. And Slam is booming on 3 TCs, which shouldn't be overlooked because he could still boom up into Hub and Siege, and that could be very dangerous for MBL and Nikov.
Yeah. Yeah, Nikov, so in terms of the order of adding TCs... Slam, I think, was first, MBL was second, DauT was third, and then Nikov was last. So that combined with the fact, well, he's getting his wood upgrades now, but I think he was lacking in some ways economically. I think this will be a booming game, and then still brings us to our point of what do the players transition into. Well, Kelsa's awkward if Mongols get to Mangadai, and MBL or not MBL, Nikov is like, screw Mangadai, I'm gonna go siege push against Celts.
Double Mangonels, actually. So...
What?
And Slam doesn't have a scout, that's something to point out. Slam lost his scout earlier, you mentioned that. So he has no idea this is coming, and he might be lucky to find it with a Monk, or just TC here, but this is gonna be the TC that goes down the fastest. If Nikov pops out, he can destroy that TC immediately, but he doesn't see it yet.
And Nikov lost his scout too in the same moment, so he does not know. But I find it kind of funny that Celts are known for eating TCs, and Nikov says, my best defense is offense here, as he shows up, and yeah, he should deny this. There's nothing that Slam can really do to take out Mangonels right now.
Exactly, and Nikov should be able to deny that TC very, very easily. And, well, Slam wanted to go for 4 TCs. That's going to stay free for a while.
I just... The commitment is actually pretty insane. To pop out with 4 Mangonels is crazy. And Slam will have to make his own siege now, and he'll be way behind with those numbers.
The next time Nikov complains again about getting matched up against Huang, I will bring this game up to him.
Dude, this is Huang prevention, though. You have to eat their TC so they can't eat yours. It's actually pretty epic. I mean, and if you're going to defend from a Huang push or a Kelp push, you normally want to have numbers. He's got to have the numbers in siege, and look how fast this town center from Slam is melting.
Indeed, those Mangonels have the hill advantage as well, and Slam had to buy some stone to repair the TC, because if you don't have stone, you can't even repair it, and that's -1 TC for Slam. And the brutal thing here is that there is nowhere to go. So he could very well get trapped within his own base. It's not like he relocate.
Yeah, and in terms of Vil count, it's even, but you have to imagine Nikov's economy is better off because he's not having to deal with all of this. Also, good job from Nikov to not lose a Mangonel yet. MBL... Oh, well, Nikov loses one there. MBL is coming forward with some towers, something we talked about might happen with Koreans.
As DauT is trying to convert the villagers and prevent that tower from going up, but that doesn't happen. DauT is booming on 5 TCs, by the way. So DauT is like, hey Slam, are you cool? Because I'm just gonna be booming on 5 TCs, man. I hope you don't die.
I just think it's funny how the monk tried to stop the tower and then immediately picked up the relic and ran away. And the monk is on the move.
And the Vils are chasing. And the wolf and the scout are chasing the Vils. I think this monk can actually survive.
Oh, knights are coming in here from Slam. And a great attack round from Nikov. He will be able to take care of one of the knights with the scorpion and spearman. But big shot? Still ends up being 1-for-1 in the end.
Yeah, I feel like this was alright for Nikov given the circumstances, because look at how many villagers Nikov has on stone. I feel like this is the moment when you think about the forward castle as the next step.
I actually... I don't know if you need a forward castle with Mongols. Because
MBL with the landing!
Oh! Slam must be loving life right now. Oh, this is every nightmare Slam has had in one. Korean towers and being Mangonel pushed. It's like Huang and Tim combined.
Yeah, and he's gonna get a castle dropped in his face in a moment as well. DauT is like, I hope you're a good friend. As MBL... MBL almost lost that castle foundation there because there was a Mangonel instantly shooting it. It was pretty close.
MBL will drop towers to, I guess, allow himself to build his castle. He sees that DauT's now dropping a castle. I've got some concerns for MBL because I feel like DauT's boom is really good, but certainly Slam's position is not so good.
Is it that good boom for DauT though? 97 VLs as opposed to 96, and DauT would just be a tiny bit faster to Imp, so I'm not sure that DauT's boom is enough to compensate for the difference between Nikov and Slam right now.
Yeah, I would say you're spot on that. I think DauT will probably have a bit of a pushback, but he's not even in a spot where he can comfortably focus all of his attention on MBL. He's going to have to save Slam. MBL, I think he could actually just stall it out, right? Just continue to make towers on Slam's base, and the transport was clutch, but and also just wall that whole side.
And also DauT's base. There is also another landing from MBL. And the siege workshop.
Okay, if he rams down that TC, that is the MTC, and that is the biggest play of this tournament so far. Make a ram, MBL. Make a ram.
I don't think...
He's making a ram!
Oh boy. Oh boy. That's still just 40%, and the guard towers might have enough range to just kill repair wheels. This TC could definitely go down here.
And I mean, I feel like in some ways this is calculated, because you always know... Usually people imp with their starting TC, and that's where the starting TC is going to be. But, okay, DauT's going to drop a castle here. DauT might end up being okay, which is good for him. It doesn't save Slam, though.
Yeah, I think DauT is going to be fine. He has a Mangonel to kill that ram with. But as you said, doesn't save Slam, who is like preparing that TC endlessly until 4 Mangonels with heal advantage just annihilate that.
Yeah, Slam.
Oh, big Knight
Knights
push.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be enough because it's 6 Knights against 5 Spears and only 1 Monk. You need a good ground attack here, and I think there was a decent one from Nikov.
Yeah, decent one, plus a conversion, plus some Spears. I mean, I think Nikov is going to be transitioning out of this type of a push anyways. Slam has just invested everything he could to try and clear that up as he makes, what is that, technically TC number 8 or 9 in this game, and MBL making a Siege Workshop right next to all this.
Yeah, indeed, and MBL will just play the disruption role here, and that allows Nikov to have a 4 TC boom into Mangadai.
Yeah, which Celt Siege is strong against pretty much every single civilization except for Mongols, because of the Mangadai. And look at the castle from MBL. This is gotta be so frustrating for Slam, man. I mean, imagine having to keep your cool going into the next game. He probably is asking DauT to resign, and DauT's like, no, we got this. We got this. But DauT, you're patrolling your crossbows into houses. No, DauT. We got this, Slam. I can do this.
Yeah. By the way, one thing to consider is that Mangadai is great, but Genoese crossbows could cause problems to that if there is no siege to support the Mangadai.
Yeah, I actually am not sure on that. I think because of the firing speed of the Elite Mangadai are actually better off there, Lita. I haven't seen it enough times in enough situations to really say that definitively, but you're definitely right that Genoese crossbowmen have a bonus against the Mangadai. It's just, I think Mangadai, they just eat it so quickly. As we have capped rams from MBL.
And he's pushing the castle. I feel like when it comes down to that matchup, it's more about that it's much easier to lose those Genoese crossbows. It's about the HP, it's about the fact that one big Mangonel shot on Onager shot can kill them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Genoese do pretty good, but last time I saw it, and again, it was a different situation, it was pretty 50-50, but the game's not 50-50, is it? There's so little map control for GL. In many ways, they're just stabilizing all the time. MBL's probably giggling to himself. It must be so fun to just see Slam's base and DauT's base and everything. He's got so much vision here. I think they should probably trade in their corner. You know, just in case this game does go on for a long time, it'd be a good idea to get trade if you're Aftermath. But, you know, there's not a lot they're doing wrong right now.
Yeah, they are actually living life now. 50 villagers lead for AM. They have a fairly decent military lead. This one, Slam is imping on probably his safest TC, which is all the way at the back, so he should have no trouble with this. But, I mean, that's the only TC that won't go down by the time he reaches him.
Yeah, that's the only TC that's not on fire right now. Okay, there is one more we found. Great micro here from Nikov, but also it's micro that's expected at this level. Mangadai are so good against Siege, as we've been saying.
DauT is floating 1.4k stones still.
Thing is, he doesn't know where to place the castles. Anywhere he places a castle, it's gonna be a target, I guess. I get that you want to... Normally the instinct is to place a castle when you have the stone for it, but when you have no room to expand, you really just want to cram it all in one spot. I think DauT is really struggling to know what to do. Is he's going for a lead skirm? That's not going to cut it.
Yeah, especially with Onagers already in here for Nikov, so
yeah.
Nikov has preemptively went for it, and there's a big bombard cannon shot as well for MBL on those crossbows. So...
Well, I missed that one, so T90 blind on my end, but I see the Aftermath.
I also see Aftermath.
Wagon. Yeah, like, I see Gamer Legion too.
Yeah, I was about to get in the direction as well with that joke, but yeah, I will soon not see Gamer Legion on this map.
Yeah, MBO. Oh, MBO just lost the castle. Curse the commentator. What did you do to him? Why would he place the castle there in the first place? That's my... MBO dropped the castle, I think, after he saw the tread volleys from DauT earlier. Okay, okay, I'm just going to drop a tower now. No one will know. I just lost 650 stone. It's the tower wall from MBL.
And indeed, the Korean towers are no joke. He's got 13 range on those, so bombard cannons don't kill them, only trebs do.
Yeah. That one treb there from DauT, but again, he's not pushing. What's the win condition here? They're surviving, But it's just getting worse and worse. I guess their win condition might be Slam getting to Onager with the Kelt firing speed, and that's what Slam's trying to tech into right now.
Indeed, but...
Yeah, Treb goes down.
They're just losing so much ground here. That is the big problem. Because...
MBL is tossing away villagers as he makes these towers. He doesn't care.
Indeed. But at this point, I think that's fair because he's at 163 vills. And AM still doesn't have trade, and as you said, you probably want to start trading here because who knows how long this game could be. There is still a lot of space for GL to fall back to.
I think if it was a case where GL was actually trading right now and holding, I would have, you know, a bit of belief, but neither team's trading. Aftermath has all the map control, and so they should have more golds and stones, and then if both teams start trading at relatively same time, it always should be advantage for Aftermath. I'm a little surprised to see that we're still seeing Gamer Legion continue to fight here, but you know, it's a big event, and it's important for them that they make sure that they are dead before they resign. So that's why they continue here, as DauT will lose another castle to MBL's tower bombard cannon push. That's all he needs, actually, and it's all he's making.
Yeah, indeed. But I'm not that surprised that GL not resigning. I mean, this is the GL team that went to play on a Team Islands game until DauT had like 19 pop.
Yeah, what was up with that, dude? That was...
I don't know. Like,
that was insane.
I was casting that with Dave, and he was also that surprised. It was like, what are you doing, man? You got like 19 pop.
Yeah.
Hashtag by DauT. The memes.
Is that a meme?
Hashtag? It is actually a meme. So, I think one of the qualifiers we had, I think maybe Vodka and Rice, the same map, and they actually wanted to type GG, but it ended up being free hashtag, so...
Okay, so it was a misclick, I guess, by DauT. Is that a common misclick? It's funny. So it didn't happen before with DauT, you're saying? It happened with Italy?
It didn't happen with DauT, I believe, but...
Wait a second. That's not him typing hashtag. That's not him typing that. Is that DE censoring it? Because if you say a bad word on DE, isn't that what shows up?
Honestly, I don't know. No, well, it could be. But why would you censor GG? And why it's not censored for everybody else? That's the more surprising one.
Yeah, listen, I'm not here to answer why. I don't know why. All I know is this is the way it is sometimes. I think recently it changed to the hashtag one. So, but yes, before it was asterisk. I'm not sure. And DauT has children. He's the only player who has children in this set, so he probably has parental controls on. That's it. But yeah, GG. All right. So, Lita, the way I see that is Aftermath's approach, and that was the best game of the series so far, was the only way we lose this game is if they kill us on water. Let's not allow them to kill us on water. Let's be competitive there. They won on water, and then Celts and Italians, well, they couldn't really get the ball rolling, could they?
No, they couldn't. They focused both on water, but I think the big deal is that Celts and Italians should never lose to Mongols, Koreans in a fire galley fight.
I agree with you on that. Yeah, and it was kind of hard to follow all the specifics. So it was not easy for me to really see like which moment swung that. But scores 2-1, Aftermath outplayed, and I really did like the Mangonel pressure there from Nikov, because had he not done that, maybe Slam gets the trade up, maybe Slam gets the siege onager, and could be a different situation.
Indeed. And that brings us to match point, which would be on Team Acropolis, a map where I feel like DauT+Slam definitely has their shot, but I think AM might have a slight advantage over there, to be honest, if I just look at those civs that they have, and also I think open maps favor AM a little bit more.
Okay, so you said Team Acropolis would be next, because that's the remaining home map for Gamer Legion?
Yes, it is. And they gotta play their own home map in this one. They have Indians, Japanese, Burgundians, Burmese left. What are your civs for this one? Burgundians, Japanese? Or you're saving Japanese for Cape of Storms? And you go Indian archers, And probably Burgundian cavalry.
I mean, I could speculate, but I'm already in the game. So when you're ready,
Oh yeah,
we can go 3, 2, 1 and start. So
you could just say the civ that they picked and then pretend that you predicted it perfectly.
yeah, I know, but I don't. I'm all about honesty is the best policy. That's how my mom raised me. So that's how I tend to cast online. You ready?
Yeah, give me a moment. And,
Okay, cool. Just give me the go ahead and we'll start here.
And we will have, it appears, Incas hitting the field. Maybe the last time that we are going to see the Inca super strong wills.
Don't even get me started.
Oh yeah, I know how it feels.
Don't even get me started. Hey, there's a unique civ in Age of Empires. Oh, let's make this civ play like all the other civilizations. Yeah. Don't even get me started on that, leader. But yeah, when you're ready for this game.
All right, let's do a 3, 2, 1, and go. So, welcome to Team Acropolis. Nikov will be playing Incas in green. This is the super aggressive Nikov that we have seen in some of the previous tournaments. And MBL's Khmer in blue versus Indians for DauT in yellow and Slam with Burmese in red.
Okay. On my end, we will see colors eventually. Here we are. So, didn't Nikov go for towers and Vil forward with Incas before in the group stage?
I think he did. Nikov,
yeah.
Like, I remember this because there was a pathfinding issue here with the little trees on the beach in the middle with the Vils. That's how I remember that.
Yeah, that's the only reason I know that, actually, because I didn't see the game. So, okay, Nikov Incas could go archers. MBL Khmer could go scouts if they wanted to stick to that meta. DauT here in the yellow. Scouts feels more than natural. Into camels, maybe. And then Burmese. Ooh. I'm thinking of one thing that you do not want Slam to get to in this game is probably Arambai. So yeah, maybe we do see a bit of aggression from Nikov and MBL to stop the Burmese player from walling up. Although that stone is not in a good position for Slam to protect.
No, that's like an absolutely F-tier stone. I think the tricky thing is that if you go for a Veil Rush, you have to make sure that you delay Slam. Because archers could hold quite nicely against earlier run-by, but without those you have no chance. So if you can delay Slam and you go for a Veil Rush, he will just destroy you with a run-by.
I also don't like Veil Rush because 19 population scout build should mean that DauT will have a few scouts out. And granted, you know, the Inca villagers with blacksmith upgrades are strong, but I don't know if they're that strong. I think that MBL will go fast castle. And I think that Nikov will go archers. That's just my guess based on knowing the players. MBL sending 5 to wood now makes me think that maybe, just maybe, speedy fast castle is the way to get a lead over Indians. Because I think if you go scouts into knights, it's just kind of countered by scouts into camels. Maybe just skipping scouts altogether and going for knights is it's worth the risk, I guess.
Nikov will go for a more conservative approach and play archers with 4 on wood. So he went for the aggro play in the previous round, I believe.
Yeah.
But this time, this will be just a straight archers play. The real question is what MBL is up to, but as you said, it's 5 on wood for him. I love the house close to that wood line, though, because that means that he can jump inside if there is any bad guys coming that way.
Yep, it's a good move. One of the bonuses with Khmer. I think that it is something you cannot rely on too much. There are some players who like that Khmer bonus and utilize that Khmer bonus and then get stuck inside the house when enemy has military around the house, and then your villagers are as good as dead when they're not working. So, I do know this here, that DauT maybe learning from game number 1, keeping his villagers alive, both MBL and Nikov forward with an eagle and a scout.
But the berries are evacuated, and that is going to hurt quite badly for DauT. And once again, we are seeing MB and Nikov just teaming up their scouts early to try and find an early Vil kill on DauT.
Exactly, yeah. That's all right. It did not happen. And DauT doesn't actually need the berries to go up to feudal if that is his plan. But it is annoying what Eagles are able to accomplish. But teams are really far away here. So you can either be extremely passive because of that, or you need to go for a fast, mobile, aggressive strategy. And that's why I'm thinking, if anything in feudal, there will be scouts. But But, you know, a lot of speculation right now as we see Loom coming in for Slam. Slam's adding a barracks, and he just signaled, and I think he signaled his stone on the minimap. I think he's probably telling DauT, my stone is forward. That's not good here.
Yeah, that is probably the very, very bad part of that. The good news for him is that his gold is super safe, and it's an easy roll-off, but Burmese without a run-by is very underwhelming. And indeed, we're gonna have scouts from DauT. But that would mean archers, most likely from Slam. Maybe opening with Burmese man-at-arms could be an idea.
Sorry, for those on my end, I'm zooming around a lot. Doesn't it kind of seem like GL's map is way better when it comes to walling with woodlines? I mean, it almost looks like Black Forest at Slam and DauT's base. And then look at the front of Nikov and MBL's base. Why is there such a difference there? It's like Slam and DauT have double the amount of woodlines at the top.
Yeah, that feels a little awkward. This script is actually very, very similar to what was used in 2v2 World Cup. In fact, the only reason why this map is in the map pool is because it delivered so good games on 2v2 World Cup.
Yeah, there were some good games there. That's weird. I mean, it certainly can make a difference in how you want to strategize. But I think having a more open base puts AM at a bit of a disadvantage. But I was incorrect. Wait, no, I was correct. MBL will try Fast Castle. It's just a bit of a greedy approach when Slam's going to be going, whoa, quarreling scout there with man-at-arms. Something I was not expecting from Burmese.
Yeah, I mean, Burmese man-at-arms is great. The big problem with that is that it takes so much time to get to the opponent's base. As you said, it's like, by the time he gets there, MBL will be clicking up to Castle Age. And also, lack of mobility, especially when the berries and golds are so close to the TC, it's doubtful that he can do a lot of damage. Or should I say doubtful?
It's not slamful, so I think we should go with doubtful. All right, so archers could deal with the man-at-arms. Archers will be out. Maybe scouts will come over then from DauT. MBL going Fast Castle. I do like this because it's an approach that is greedy, but it's not too greedy. And I think that maybe with a few knights, if the going ever gets rough for Nikov, because he'll be 2v1, he'll get that protection from MBL. As Nikov has gone for tiny walls, whereas it looks like the approach for Gamer Legion, especially Slam, he needed like 8 palisades and a few houses. He's pretty well protected as they've walled towards each other.
What I love about Slam walls is that he's adding a second layer of houses, so it's not like just a couple of scouts or archers could surprise him and catch him off guard. And it looks like DauT and Slam are waiting for the opportunity to run into Nikov's base here, teaming up their units to the south.
Nikov should see this then. Nikov should know. And Nikov will know that MBL's going for Fast Castle, so he'll have to just play defense. This is one of those deals where this can get out of hand really quick, really fast if there's an overchop or a palisade missing. And this could also swing over to MBL's eco too. But MBL has houses around. DauT sees the TC. So MBL's also prepped for this. And I'm impressed so far with how Aftermath have been able to deal with this, because it's so open here.
Indeed. And MBL is going to have a clear way into Castle Age. And the real question is, what is he going to do there? Because he can actually start with Knights, maybe even a forward Siege Workshop and Scorpions after, as Slam is moving to Stone. So Slam will pretty much play Men-at-Arms into a run-by here.
Nikov has to be careful not to move far out. There's 5 scouts around. It's good when he's close to his base, but if he moves too far out, those scouts could get him, and DauT has looped all the way around. I think one stable Knights into a greedy boom is the best approach for MBL personally. Because I think if it's even in the mid game and you're going Knights with Khmer, as DauT was thinking about attacking, the Indians I think are going to be able to do well with those camels.
Here's the tricky thing.
He's made it look easy.
Here's the tricky thing. You got Men-at-Arms from Slam inside Nikov's base, and that forces Nikov to defend with archers, as MBL, oh no, that's a disaster for MBL. Or he just jumps into houses.
Well, TC still delayed, and he also lost the villager, and this is with an economy it's not all that strong. He only has 24 vills. When you skip through 2 ages like that, that's a lot of time spent where you're not creating vills. So that actually hurts a lot. And if he doesn't wall that one either, he's going to lose 2 of them. He's down to 23. Well, I guess back to 24 now. That's really hurting MBL's start.
Yeah, and it's also worth pointing out that MBL indeed lost to Stone, so he's gonna have to mine a little bit of that as well. But I think what's more important is that the men-at-arms of Slam are pinning Nikov inside his base, and you could see the blue ping on the minimap telling Nikov that Slam is mining Stone. So Nikov wants to hit the Stone mine, but he couldn't until now.
Okay, yep. Yeah, here he comes. Good work from MBL to scout that. And I was really wondering if Slam was going to take that. I thought maybe he would take DauT Stone, but DauT Stone is in the same spot. So DauT taking some risks, taking the woodlines too. If Nikov were to find that, those are Vil kills. So MBL going 3 TCs. I think he'll catch up in terms of Vil count. But when you go 3 TC boom, you cannot support with many knights. You cannot get many upgrades.
Indeed, the scouts are still lurking around by DauT, and the best thing that DauT could do with those is bring them back to clean up Nikov's archers, and surprisingly Nikov is not going for Slam's stone mine, which would be an easy thing to deny. Instead, he's going to allow Slam to collect enough stone for a castle, I believe.
I think sometimes at this stage you assume he's going to have the stone, or sometimes if they're 100 or 200 stone away, they can just buy it. So maybe it's the correct move to, if you see a way to break through with your teammate as opposed to going over. Maybe an archer behind the stone makes sense, but I think Slam would compensate for it in some way. As Aftermath are 1 win away from moving on to the semis, and they are through to DauT's base. DauT is 90 seconds away from the next stage. This is not good for the Lord.
It's definitely not. He didn't have those walls reinforced, and he didn't even attempt to add any houses behind. He's off from gold, which is probably what hurts most. So it's not like he gets like 4 or 5 camos in. And he cleans this one up. Nice contingency walls from Slam, who is also on the way to Castle Age. And he's gonna have to drop a castle. Maybe even... That's an interesting spot.
Okay, well, Slam worried now. Yeah, everything's just falling apart. I'm really surprised that DauT didn't try a market wall there. I mean, so many players would have reinforced that in some way. And Nikov's on the way to Castle Age, so pretty soon these will be upgraded. And it's not like Slam can send over Knights or an Elephant. He's just waiting for Arambai, so DauT is going to have to defend himself pretty much, as he lost 2 Vils. MBL has the Vil lead now with 45, but only 3 military.
Indeed. But those 3 military are making it count, so... Definitely, DauT is off from gold. He's dropping TC number 2 just yet. One thing is sure, DauT and Slam won't give up on this easily, so...
Also, I think they have the better late game comp with Burmese and Indians. If we do see Indian Imperial camels, it's really tough for Incas and... Well, maybe not tough for Incas. I think Incas could have some options there, but could probably be going Arbalest anyways. As the Knights go in again after DauT and MBL, the value here, that will be the 4th villager he's killed at DauT's base. And these Knights have probably... a very short future, so he should get as many kills as possible.
Yeah.
And 1 more.
Yeah, that's excellent value for 2 completely unupgraded knights over there.
Yeah.
It's little investment for a grand total of 6 Vils killed from DauT.
This is where MBL's got to kick it up, though, as far as production goes, because Arambai are on the way, and it will be Camels and Arambai against just Nikov's Expo. So for now, actually, this is a good opportunity for Nikov to get some hits. But I see Slam is sending a villager forward. I think he wants a forward workshop or something with that villager. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, most likely. I feel like Slam is going to be playing 1 TC because Arambai kind of need that. So it might be just a 1 TC Arambai siege push and just let DauT boom because DauT is already on 3 TCs.
Yeah, one thing to be said about Indians, their Vils are so cheap. I think with another Civ, you lose that many villagers, and you're really starting to feel it here. But you can still pump Vils out of 3 TCs with this Civ.
But look at MBL's boom. 68 Vils already. They have a combined 30 Vil lead, and Khmer farming eco is no joke either. But here come the Arambai, and those missed javelins also doing damage could mean that those crossbows get cleaned up very easily.
Yeah, Nikov, I think, just has to prioritize getting as many kills as possible throughout this. He's killed a few camels. They're not cheap. DauT, kind of in boom mode, right? So Nikov, I think, will be very happy with what just happened there. it is expected for Erenbai to be problematic. Slam is at 50 villagers. It's 50 villagers for DauT, 74 for MBL. My goodness. This is just disgusting. But the Siege Workshop has me really kind of confused. I suppose if MBL's only making knights and Slam had like 20, 30 Erenbai and 3 Rams, that all of these TCs for MBL would just get mopped up. But got to think that MBL will have... Oh, he has Scorpions at home. That's funny.
What's interesting to point out is that Slam placed 2 tiles of Polysides at 2 different places in the middle. Do you know why that happened?
Yeah, I saw it. He's actually deleting them now. He did that to cover up the evidence from the wolf that attacked his villager.
Exactly.
If someone were to scout that and just see that there was a dead wolf, they would know that something went forward. I think that some of that's been patched out of the game too, but I know it was something for a long time in our game.
Exactly, and that's not something that a lot of people know. I think I also learned that like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And that's actually something that could decide outcome of games in certain situations, because if that villager gets spotted, this is a completely different game, and right now, AM have no idea about that forward.
Alright, so they don't know the forward. MBL's on the way to Imp. He currently has 8 military. And that 8 military is very vulnerable in many ways. The Scorpions could all be taken out by a few camels, possibly. Erenbai could deny that TC, but Scorpions actually could also take out the Erenbai, so Slam moving away.
Oh, this is
Slam
tricky.
maybe taking an idea out of Nikov's book from the previous game. Just try and take out the TCs and control the game.
It's possible, because MBL's imping and he wants to go for a hub and Scorpion play, but that's fairly expensive when you have to think about getting heavy Scorpion in. Scorpion themselves aren't cheap. And this might just force MBL to defend here. That's their thing.
But also, it's 1 player against 2, and DauT has Indians with 4 TCs. DauT is going to boom back into this game.
Indeed. And he's getting close to imping as well. He will still struggle against halbs, but mobility will be on his side, and that's something to point out.
MBL using Scorpions against the Maganel, but he loses so many to the Maganel too. Oh, jeez.
That's very, very tricky, because you got the extra range with the Khmer, but your damage output isn't amazing, and 1 bad move and you lose all your Scorpions. Still, MBL's defense here is pretty nice, and he's gonna have no problem getting into him.
Yeah, I just think you gotta make sure that you pressure in some way. It's still a little weird to me that he's opening Halb. I mean, that doesn't feel like that's the normal game plan for Khmer, as both Nikov and MBL microing here against Slam.
And they're doing so very
impressive.
nicely. Very nice unit control there. The crossbow's using the range advantage over the Arambai.
Oh my goodness, this micro. Oh my goodness, this micro from AM. That was disgusting.
Oh man, you talked about this. This is decider game, and this is top tier unit control from Aftermath here.
The only thing they don't really have a lot of control over right now is the game. As I've been saying, is there's space and time possibly for Slam and DauT to do their thing, but I think MBL realizing that has come forward. Slam did spot that with the 1 Erenbai. MBL might just go Rams and Halbs, maybe?
That could be scary, because Slam is nowhere close to imping, and he doesn't have the tools to stop Hub and Ram.
Yeah.
And same thing with DauT. DauT is actually going fletching, and it's going to be heavy CA, the unit that propelled him to Red Bull Volvo free victory.
Huh. Cav archers with Indians. Well, Halb obviously is out, so you know it's going to be tough if you go camels. Nowadays, camels, Indians do not get the final armor upgrade, so they just feel a bit weaker and not as overwhelming as they have been in the past for many civs. You know, Cav archers actually makes the most sense. Wouldn't Skirm make sense too? Like a mix? I guess it's a lot of food when you need to get the upgrades, but yeah, Cav archers are on the way, Lita.
Yeah, that is going to be an interesting one to look at. Indian Cav archers are nice, but they don't give you any like special benefit whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the real question is, what do you do with Burmese? Like, elephants Cav archers will be tough to stop, but it takes forever for Slam to get to elephants, even though his eco is pretty decent.
I mean, you could send when you're an imp, you can send resources to Slam and give him food for elephants. And I guess Cav Archer Elephant is arguably better than Arambai Imp Camel. Nikov on his way to Imp, but maybe with good micro, there's opportunity for DauT to trade against these crossbows before they're upgraded to Arb.
Indeed, and that is going to still be like 3 minutes until those are Arbalest, so
yeah,
now is the time to shine, and Slam will grab that opportunity.
This is just such a weird opening to Imp. It's unique, right? And I think TwoPools presents that for us because players, they're forced into spots we just don't see from them very frequently. We see Eagle being clicked by Nikov. So Nikov thinking of Elite Eagle Warrior, which would actually be a great decision, seeing the Cav Archers from DauT.
That's amazing. That's a very, very good decision, because Eagles also are pretty decent against the Rumbai, and so they are against the CA. I think, in this case, Cav Archer Champion from Burmese could work, but I feel like it is the big problem that Slam is nowhere close to imping.
Well, when you have Arambai are already one of the sickest units, being a Castle Age unit compared to Imp units. So I don't think that's a concern. I'm really confused by this opening from MBL, though. He's taken out houses so far. He is not pushing TCs at all from Slam, which I think is a possibility. And the military count is really high for Gamer Legion. What has Halb capped Ram accomplished here besides being annoying?
Nothing. I mean, maybe they felt like they will have an advantage into Imp, and this will snowball just like, let's say, Regicide Fortress Hub and Siege Play would.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe sometimes it's hard to know what to do with Khmer. They don't have the best Arbalest, they don't have the best Cavs, so I'm not saying I hate the opening, I just don't think it was as effective as they would have wanted.
MBA using the power of the Khmer farming with those farms in the middle. You could relate to building such farms.
Yeah, I know, they're perfect, they're in a straight line. Now the villagers are dying when playing against DauT, so that seems about accurate. It's just also a really clunky unit composition to control. Scorpions, Halbs, not easy to play. So I see the Eagles are here. DauT sees the Eagles are here, but look at all the villagers that are going down for Nikov and MBL.
Yeah, they
now
are.
Gamer Legion have the villager, well, close to the villager lead, and they have double the military.
Indeed, DauT, the Cav Archer Whisperer, just using his favorite unit in the game now, I believe. And the real question is, what do you do against those Eagles, which is still probably the weakest Eagle in the game, but it will still eat Cav Archers. You can go hand cannons, but that takes time.
Yeah, you can maybe mix in some hand cannons. Honestly, if you get to 40, 50 heavy Cav Archers, they're pretty good against the Eagles. Mayan Eagles are a little bit of a different story because of the HP, but at least until all the upgrades come in for Nikov, I think that Cav Archers en masse could do well. And Slam could continue to make his Arambai too against that. But what in the... MBL has heavy Scorpion with capped Ram, and here he goes. He really wants to push up the gut of Gamer Legion's base.
Oh yeah, but I feel like now DauT is going for a castle. This could look ugly for him though.
DauT... Oh, that would be amazing. MBL, shoot the villagers, please.
Yeah, this feels like an advanced level Hoang Rush here, as the Rams are perfect at soaking up arrow fire, and that is a great fight for MBL there.
Yeah, DauT using the Cav. I mean, if you think about the investment,
yeah,
into the Scorpions
and the Rams, because now the Rams are undefended, so that's -4 Rams for MBL.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, DauT's been raiding with Cav Archers, by the way. As it looks like full Pierce Armor's in for Nikov, which will make it really tough now. But yeah, it's just, again, it just seems awkward. I think that there's an obvious lack of horses currently for Nikov and MBL, and I would like to see them mix in something as MBL's getting bloodlines. Maybe he'll consider some Hussars.
And we will have Slam in Imperial, and he's stacking it to Champion. One of the things that will just absolutely eat those Eagles, the Burmese champions, probably at least the second best champion in the game or so.
Yeah, they're up there. Now, infantry is very weak against Scorpions, though. So I think it's mainly there for the Eagles. This is really awkward as far as control and unit comps go. I actually think DauT is doing the right call. I think I saw him click Light Cav or Hussar. That would be nice if Halbs aren't around to take out these Scorpions, who are currently just been attacking 1 or 2 Erlenby, and Slam was micring them away.
Yeah, beautiful fight there for GL as well, and indeed chain barding for DauT, and he's starting to make Hussar. Slam actually tried a couple of forward barracks where his original forward was, that was denied by MBL, so that's not gonna happen. But MBL's army is just non-existent currently.
It's so expensive, and it just hasn't done the job. And so it makes me begin to worry a little bit for Aftermath, because I feel like they had the lead in this game. And DauT's going to go Hussar and Cav Archers on the left side. And with one big ball of Cav Archers, he could run right into that trade area, right beyond these castles. So you definitely got to worry now, I think, if you're Aftermath.
And the other thing is that both Halberdiers and Eagles die to a Rambai when you have good blob of a Rambai, because they just work like an Onager once you have like 20-25 a Rambai.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that Slam's champions, they're not even needed in a very high number to be effective. Actually, Scorpions, this is why MBL wanted to go for the Scorpions. He is getting some kills. But if you have maybe 10 to 15 in front of DauT's Cav Archers at all times, these Eagles are going nowhere, right?
Exactly, and those Scorpions are very, very expensive for MBL and Nikov, especially for players that are losing map control, which means that they will soon start having gold control issues, I believe.
I am really... Okay, so I think that MBL's ineffectiveness with his Halbs and Scorpions, it has to do with how awkward the unit can be, but also I think that Slam and DauT have done a really impressive job in using these units. Cav Archers and Erlenby, usually that's something that double crossbow Scorpions would give problems to. All these tech switches they've had to go for, all the buildings they have to clean up. Now you have DauT coming in with Hussars. I mean, Gamer Legion really showing their knowledge with these tech switches.
Yeah, they do, and they are also adding markets, something that GL loves to do earlier than others. And for now, AM is going to add their own markets, so we're in for a long game here, potentially.
But think of the amount of HP on the military. Cav Archers, 80 HP. Erlenby, 85 HP. Hussars, I don't even remember. Is that 95 HP? Eagles, 60 HP. Yes, they have 10 Pierce Armor, but they're still dying. This is why Mayan Eagles are the Eagles you'd want to go for, usually. That's why people prefer them. Scorpions, 50 HP. It's just so weak and flimsy and
slow
tough to use.
So mobility is a big factor here as well. Rambai and Cav Archer with Hussar is way better than Eagle and Scorpion. And I think the overall military value tells a lot about the state of the game right now.
Yeah. Since GL's finally forcing some reactions from the enemy, I think that this is where they need to start raiding trade. There are a lot of castles, but peeling off a few Cav Archers to get back into trade, if it's possible. I see Nikov building castles and walling. That would be the go-to. And this is why even Inca Eagles don't tend to impress too much in team games. Nikov having an awful time being able to take engagements.
Indeed, and DauT is just pushing further and further with castles. MBL will launch one more big assault on the north with Rams, Scorpions, but I feel like at this point, Slam could even tech into Onager against this.
MBL also overboomed big time. I just heard a bunch of villagers die. He was at 160-some villagers. Yeah. Well, did you say... sorry, I missed the tail end of what you said there. You said someone tech switching into Onagers, maybe?
Yeah, I think Slam could, because that would help quite a lot against those Scorpions and Rams pushing up the right side, or, well, the north of the lake.
I think, honestly, Hussar, even though there's Halbsar, I think Hussar might do well enough as Slam to do anything to buy himself time is to drop the house in front of the siege.
Yeah, quick walling against Siege Ram feels a very, very sad and desperate moment. But he's got light cap, he's got bombard cannons here, so I'm not even sure if this castle goes down.
Yeah, bombard cannons, that would be huge. Bombard cannons can flatten Scorpions as they stack on top of each other. I think the castle does go down, but does MBL have anything remaining after the fact? As here comes DauT with Hussars, the two-handed swordsmen are behind, and yet again, we're seeing how awkward the siege can be, despite how strong it is.
Indeed, and it is a very, very expensive push for MBL that ultimately didn't accomplish anything. Like, Slam losing this castle, it's not like he's in a bad position because of that.
Yeah, the castle, well, if they can get units back there to raid the trade, that'd be good. But I think that's more so going to happen on the other side right now, as DauT's here with 4 trebs, which always feels like that magic number when you're going for a treb push and imp. See, also Slam is into the back of MBL's eco and the trade region with some light cav.
And
MBL's push stopped.
And MBL's overboom was also solved. He's down to 120 villagers thanks to Arambai raiding the wood line here in the middle as well. And MBL lost 68, now soon 69 villas in this game.
Yeah, not so nice, right? Yeah, that early imp opening is what I keep coming back to here, Lita. There was a time where MBL and Nikov could have accomplished more, but DauT+Slam, their trade set up and running. They're so close to breaking into the trade route, and with these long games, or what could be an even longer game, it all comes down to trade golds. Look at DauT's castle. It's being denied by Halbs currently, but he's trying to take that position away at least.
Yeah, I was waiting for a proper DauT castle in this set, and that is getting closer to that, although the Arambai coming in to help might actually even save those vills. It's going to be tight. Nope, yeah. Slam is just like, okay, whatever.
They're Indian vills. They're cheap. You just replenish them. It's fine. But there's just too many areas to track right now for MBL, and the awkwardness of Khmer pretty obvious here. Now, he has the potential to get some good kills here on these Cav Archers. He's patrolling them through the trade route. Nikov trying to wall it out, and DauT says, see ya! He gets 1 trade card. He'll get another trade card. He'll get another trade card.
The trade is still pretty even. Pushing. But the map control is starting to get way better for Gamer Legion, and slow and steady they're just pushing with better unit composition. Like, right now it's Hub and Eagle, and basically everything dies to champions, unless you have a lot of Scorpions backing that up, but I don't see Scorpion numbers for MBL, or at least not one big group.
Oh, there you go. See, that's what the Scorpions are capable of. See, if this was Black Forest, and all the fights were taken in one spot, I think I might prefer Khmer Inca. But that's not how Gamer Legion set out to play this game. They wanted to expand. They have done so. They're everywhere with random units, and Lita, it's looking better and better for Gamer Legion. They have a 70 total population lead. Is that another one?
Yeah, it's another one. It's actually a big one. Like, that really looks like a proper DauT castle over there, as he just got intercepted by so many egos, and credits to Nikov, because his eco is awful, but he's just flooding units like a madman.
He does have a lot of military.
Nikov actually gets a villager to the back of the trade, and he's trying to stonewall it off to block GL's trade.
If he gets this, that would be amazing. Anything to make the trade awkward for the enemy, but I'm sure he placed the wall, and he realizes anyways that this game is over, and the GG is called. Yeah, I guess Nikov's population at this point is 120. Did he have a failed castle there? No, he was in the process of building it. There's just too many angles to focus on. The Arambai were in the back of the trade. Cav Archers would run to the south. They knew for a while now, and I think we knew too, Lidakor. So what I want to come back to here is early imp. MBL, going Halb Ram at that time, I think makes sense if you're expecting Indians to go for the camels. Arambai don't have an answer to the Rams. Was that an incorrect decision, or was it just not executed properly?
I think it was an incorrect decision. So,
okay,
yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
I feel like the biggest problem here is distance. So, like, a Hub and Sage push works really well when you're close to the opponent, but it just took so much time for MBL to get there, and by the time he got there, the answer was there for GL.
Yeah, I personally think he closed down the distance issue with the forward buildings, which is what you would want. But he went up the hill and attacked houses. Slam had 2 town centers right by where this one castle is, if you're still in the game, and he didn't try and take that out. I think if you open with Halb Ram and take out those 2 TCs, Slam doesn't have very good economy, and then you can make a possible tech switch into something later on with a massive lead. So I don't know if he didn't have them scouted, but that is just, they were sitting right there the entire time. And maybe just lack of awareness to not have the area to push. Because otherwise, I could see a Hussar opening being similarly weak if Indians go for camels and if, or Cav Archers and then Arambai are out from Burmese. So I'm a little sympathetic, I guess, to MBL because I know how awkward Khmer can be. But geez, man, that was not at all what he wanted.
Yeah, indeed. Also, Nikov switching into Eagles, sort of being forced to switch into Eagles wasn't ideal because kind of the Halberdier plus Eagle composition is a mismatch. But that brings us to the final map, and we once again have to talk about the fact that everyone won their own home maps as of yet. So GL's gotta have to steal one home map from the opponent, and it has to come in right here, right now, on Cape of Storms.
All right, cool. Well, we'll do our thing here, Lita. Go to 10 seconds, and then we will do a little countdown and start it off. I actually, let me wait till Capture Age loads in on my end this time because it can take a second and we can get started here. But we won't have a ton of time to speculate on the civs because in this map you do have a lot of early aggression, right? So certainly more aggressive than Team Crop, more aggressive than Regicide Fortress, which went quite late in the series.
Indeed. And Cape of Storms with Persians, Vietnamese versus Japanese Burgundians. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready to go, Lita. 3, 2, 1, and 14. We're in the game, and this is what we've got. So, in the green, we have Nikov. Nikov's in the back position for his team, playing as the Persians. MBL's in the front position, playing as the Vietnamese. He is up against Slam, which he's just signaled with the Vietnamese bonus, and Slam's playing Japanese. And then you have DauT in the back, playing Burgundians. Give me your early thoughts here, Lita.
Burgundians is always the interesting civ. I feel like Burgundians is one of those poor 2 civs that a lot of people dislike, but they so far have overperformed. So the early Cavalier really coming in clutch there. Like the 2 base attack that you gain immediately upon grabbing Cavalier can be extremely important. Japanese as a flank is also something I love because it's very, very hard to kill their fishing eco. I would think that both players will go for some sort of fish. The other side, Nikov's Persian build is going to be water-based as well. But the real question is what MBL is going to do with Vietnamese.
Well, for now, he's going to take a Rhino away from Slam. He brought that Rhino all the way from Slam's base back to his. So he stole the Rhino. That's an extra 400 food.
Yeah, because Rhinos have more food on them than boars. Luckily for Slam, you start with 3, so it's not that big of a deal as it would be on Arabia. But I love that lane from MBL. This is one of the power of the Vietnamese. You know exactly where your opponent's TC is at, so you will definitely not run into that TC.
Yeah, so as far as the difference between Japanese and Vietnamese go as a front position, I think that the big standout is that both are good with archer rolls, but maybe Vietnamese slightly preferred there, and Japanese are a lot more flexible to go compete on water. So my assumption is Slam will utilize those bonuses and go on water, and then maybe MBL will say, screw the water. I'm going to go crazy on land and try and overwhelm with archers. Back to Burgundians, as we actually see the scouts fighting here from DauT and Nikov. And that could go either way. Hold on. I'm going to say DauT's going to win because
I'm going to say Nikov, so one of us is wrong. You're right.
Okay. DauT wins. GL players always win those. I don't know why, but they do. And then another one, and MBL is going to lose. So Slam has his scout and DauT has his scout. Wow.
Yeah. I just wanted to say Nikov wins that, so I am against you, and one of us will be wrong.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, one of us was right, too, so one of us... It's fine. It's not the worst prediction to get wrong, Nita. So, how important is that, though, to not have your scout as a team?
I feel like it's actually quite important when you're up against a Vietnamese opponent on the flank, because you really don't know what MBL is up to. As you said, he can go for a hybrid build, he can go for a very aggressive land-based build, so you want to scout that one.
Yeah.
The deer push is not that important on this map, so from that perspective, it's alright. I think it's more about the fact that you can't use them in early feudal to snipe the villager close to the dock, which hurts a little bit.
Yeah, I could see Slam leaning a lot more towards going for water control now, because he doesn't have to worry about losing a vill to wall. And he could wall, and DauT's even scouting to the wood line right now. From this main wood line, the small wood line, full wall the front, and then if MBL shows up with archers, you're already focusing on water, and then maybe MBL loses his fish. Nikov does the same. So I think the back position is going to be consistent. I think we'll probably have Persians going scouts, Nikov, and then scouts from DauT too. But like you said, Burgundians, if this gets to Castle Age, do get Cavalier and Castle. But I think the big thing is that, with that, is that when you arrive to Imp, you can click Paladin immediately, and it's half off. Whereas other civs would have to wait for Cavalier to complete, then they'd have to wait for Paladin to complete.
Yeah, indeed. And considering how open this map is, I think it's a must to have your pocket player go for a scouts build, because otherwise you would just get torn apart by the opponent's scouts. So if there's one player that goes for water, that is the flank player. And I think the way to do it is with a forward dock, because otherwise you're so far away from the opponent.
Yeah, that's a good point. We've seen people walk pretty far forward for it. We'll see. Nikov, pretty clean build, despite not having a scout. And he is on the way already. And from what I can see, it looks like this is going to be a scout build for him. Nikov loves to add fishing ships, and it looks like Slam just lost his scout, so there's only one scout remaining, and that's DauT's out there somewhere. But I think Nikov will be greedy with fish, hope that maybe MBL will let him know if he's going to lose any, and spam those scouts.
Indeed, we also have an early barracks coming in here for Slam, so he is going to open men-at-arms as well. It's a little bit tricky to pull off when you also went for a dock, but obviously cheaper drop-off buildings for Japanese help quite a bit with that, and that's something that MBL could have trouble against. He's gonna... What is MBL up to with that, Will?
Is he gonna sneak past walls?
That would be a genius. Nope, it's just a forward. A forward barracks. He's not even playing gods, man.
But why? I don't... That's directly where the enemy would wall. It comes down to lack of scouting, possibly, but Slam's going to see that now and be like, wait, what?
Yeah, he's like, what is happening? And that barracks will do absolutely nothing.
It could get denied, actually, because there's a Vil from Slam, MBL quick walls. Okay, so... Well, it does block the wall that Slam wanted to go for, but if MBL goes for a forward archery range and Slam has man-at-arms, as he now goes for a defensive archery range, I'm so confused. Forward barracks, defensive archery range. This does not compute.
Yeah, that is definitely awkward. Here comes the man-at-arms, though, and the timing of Slam is going to be a couple of seconds too early. But those are still Japanese men-at-arms, so they do mean business.
Yep, and MBL with quick walls here. Oh, man, and actually, the TC got some hits in there. Actually works out for MBL, plus we'll have an archer soon. But certainly, when this happens, you have idols and your wood lines, you can see it here. You have to quick wall more. Even though Slam hasn't killed anything, he's untouched at home. He'll be feeling good.
Yeah, I feel like here, as we got Nikov picking off a Vil from Slam potentially on his gold mine to start the day with.
Yeah, and there's another scout coming through too. Go ahead.
I feel like you gotta send those men-at-arms to Nikov, because that would force Nikov to defend a little bit, otherwise he would just tear you apart with his scouts. Nice quick walls from Slam over there.
Yep, I think you're correct on that. I think it's a good call. You certainly don't want to be around when MBL has the archers. It also means that MBL's archers won't go forward immediately. But, you know, MBL's barracks might serve a purpose. If he just adds a bunch of spears to support Nikov's scouts against DauT scouts, then DauT might not be able to defend nicely. Not a lot of action on water right now. It's all land.
And another Vil could go down from Slam over here, and he has to evacuate the gold mine. AM looking sharp in this one, and there is one thing that barracks does very well, is keeping this open. Because you see the team walls of DauT and Slam. This is something that a lot of teams do on this map, but that barracks is perfect to block that.
Yep, you're right on that. DauT adding another stable right now. He's going to go for a lot of scouts then. And no activity on water from what I can see. It looks like MBL lost an archer to the man-at-arms there, Lita.
Well, it happens to the best of us. I think the big problem for DauT going for double stable scouts is that Burgundians don't have bloodlines. So if one player is supposed to be going for double stable scouts, that's Nikov, because he can get away with an aggressive feudal age. Burgundians should rely more on getting to Castle Age because they need Knights and Cavalier to become efficient. Their scouts are awful in late feudal.
And an even bigger issue is DauT doesn't have the economy for that. He doesn't have the economy for that. He's going to lose a villager to the scouts from Nikov. The villager here for DauT could go down to just 2 spearmen. So it just... I guess the opening has looked better for AM, and there's no other way to say it here. And oh! Slam wants revenge! And MBL reacts immediately. And MBL will only lose 1 to that.
That's very, very tricky because both DauT and Slam suffered from some wheels being killed, but MBL is also suffering badly here, and the Japanese man-at-arms will be decent at damaging those scouts.
Wow, that was really good reaction from MBL, and then Nikov was here to help, so they'll clear that, while DauT has to force a tower, and DauT can't exactly clear this just yet, but you think he might be able to soon. There's only 1 spearman left.
Yeah, he should be able to clean this one up, but Nikov already has +1 defense and Bloodline, so those scouts are way better for Nikov, and that should show in the battle.
Oh yeah, that's not the fight for DauT. I mean, I thought soon you could take the fight, but when there's a Spearman in there and Bloodline scouts, that's not it. Aftermath with 20 military, it's 10 military for Slam and DauT, and these scouts, as you mentioned, having Bloodlines means that DauT will always be at a disadvantage.
Oh, I feel like that barracks from MBL, as weird as it looks like, is actually extremely important. It's blocking the walls, and I guess the game plan for GL should have been that they wall up and try to get DauT to an earlier castle age than Nikov.
Yep.
But now they are forced in scouts fights that they cannot win. They just can't win without Bloodlines here.
And Slam doesn't have the archer numbers because he fell too far behind. And now you have Nikov, after getting a lead over DauT, saying, okay, time to go castle age. Really sick eco from Nikov behind this too, and you know, it seems like if we get a chance to look back here after this fight, his farming eco is smooth, well placed, good amount on golds. MBL with more archers, Slam. If he tries to send in reinforcements now, it's going to run into these scouts potentially. This is not a good spot for Gamer Legion.
That's not a good spot. Especially because even though Slam is going to clean up the water, Castle Age is on the way for Nikov and DauT is nowhere close. And the Persian Knights will even do extra damage against Slam's archers, so that looks very rough for them as they will hit Slam's wood line here in a moment.
Yep, scouts going through, Slam has to react. These wood lines are not easy to wall at this stage. So they did something on water, but it looks like Aftermath were able to defend. Not really a water commitment. It's pretty easy to just add your own fire galley if one shows up, and the scouts run through, and Slam is just full panic mode here. Trying his best to quick wall, but now archers are going to arrive, so he needs to run with everything in the end.
Yeah.
And wow.
That is looking really rough, and really, as weird as MBL's barracks was, that might be the game-winning move there. It was somewhat surprising that we didn't see Slam walling that one off after that barracks was dropped.
Well, they didn't have military control, right? I think it's important to know they didn't have military control, GL. They could obviously run out there and wall it up a little bit. Here comes a counterattack from DauT, and this is what they need. It was just Nikov being faster to the punch with scouts and MBL getting the spearmen forward. I really just like the placement of the barracks to deny the early wall, but also get those spearmen in there, which helped. But you're right that we thought, what is the plan? And it actually makes sense.
Now here's a tricky thing, because MBL is not going into Castle Age yet. He's losing his archers, and both GL players are up. And I don't see that many knights from Nikov just yet. It's +1/+1. Obviously, Persians will have the flexibility of camos as well, but it's going to be 2 Castle Age players, and Slam is going to have a decent amount of crossbows out on the field early.
He did keep his numbers alive, Slam. He did keep his numbers alive. Nikov, if he's not able to do too much damage with these knights, I think it's manageable for Gamer Legion. Somehow, right? It was not looking good. So many villagers going down. But I think that DauT has had a bit more in the way of fishing ships compared to Nikov. Yeah, massive amount of fishing ships. So when he lost villagers, he still had fish at least, as the knights go in. Everywhere. They're all around DauT's base right now. Really hard for DauT to control this.
Yeah, I love that DauT is just spamming spears right now. That's exactly what you want to do in this situation, because you just want to slow down those early knights, and you can do that with like 8-9 spears, unless there is archers to kill them. But DauT is almost up, and Slam is soon going to have crossbows. Slam needs to control that choke point where the knights are trickling in.
Oh boy. AM with a bit of a counter on water here. I think this was initially defensive, but Slam will lose some fish. Spears are good against the knights, but DauT DauT there has archers to deal with now, and I like the patient play from AM. They know they're ahead with Knight production. Just take out the stables. Don't toss away your numbers. Take out the stables before DauT can get here to get some upgrades.
Cavalier coming in instantly for DauT, and he's also stacking into pikemen, so he's doing everything here. And I think this is the moment where Slam has to start contributing, because he's got a castle age advantage over MBL, even though it's not that super big. But this is the moment where you could potentially try to wall that hole off, because you need some sort of safety back at home. But honestly, the Veil count isn't that awful for Gamer Legion, despite all those damage being done on their base.
I think, though, it's going to be, because they have so many fishing ships out that are now vulnerable, and it's also pretty inefficient. So I think that maybe the Vil lead's a little deceiving here, as Nikov's on 2 TCs at home, but we'll see. I love the coordination from MBL and Nikov.
Yeah, that's
everything
beautiful.
That's gone down in this game. They're together again to go for a fight on DauT's gold.
That's a beautiful fight even. And like DauT is trying to get to Cavalier, and he's gonna have a couple of them out, but they need to take one very good fight and then launch counterattack to have any shot at this.
There's just not many pikes left.
Is this a good fight? There's still some pikes here, so this might be... Nope, it's not enough.
Yeah, not enough, and also Slam. I mean, Slam's got stuff. Don't get me wrong. He's here with something, but MBL's through, and MBL will be happy to have control. As some sick micro from MBL. Oh my goodness, he's got 4 kills before losing 1 in that fight.
Yeah, that was very, very good. He's going to lose his crossbows, but I think the result can be seen in the Veil counts. It's 20 Veils lead now for AM. Yep. That's exactly what they were hoping for.
MBL didn't have Bodkin that entire time. What? That's impressive then.
And look at Nikov. He's trickling in cavalry from the north instead of the south, so he knows that, hey, that is wide open, I can just keep raiding. DauT with a bit of a masterpiece here, traps 2 knights on the wood line, but there's an exit at the back.
This has reached a point where Nikov is just sniping Vils for fun. He has Persian TCs, which work faster, and he's just diving in for Vils, which can be a risk, because sometimes you can lose your military. But I think when you're far enough away from DauT, where you know you'll have reinforcements before he can reasonably counter you, you do exactly this. And DauT's not exactly reacting to all the areas either.
This is interesting, because at some point the inefficiency of those knights versus the cavalier will start showing, and the eco is crazy for Nico, but 72 Veils against only 38 from DauT.
Yep.
Like, unless DauT and Slam do a lot of damage to AM, that seems nearly impossible for them.
And that's 2 town centers too. He doesn't even have 3. It's just the production. And a bonus we did mention, I believe at one point, is that Persian Knights have extra attack against archers. So when these Knights come in against Slam's crossbows here, if they go in, they will do more there. Good job from MBL with 3 ranges on the front to realize he needs to make sure he has the military to support. And looks like a fight that's winnable for Gamer Legion, as they really need one right now.
Yeah, they really need one, but we shouldn't underestimate the Cavalier. AM should have a massive, enormous lead here. But if there is one way back for GL, that's a very aggressive play overall.
Yep. But the score, I think, telling them how far behind they are in eco. Not enough Cavalier there. The Persian bonus will start to kick in here. It is 170 population for Aftermath as a team, whereas it's only 100 population for Gamer Legion as a team. Impressive crossbow micro, but my goodness, this eco lead.
Yeah, DauT has no eco to consistently produce Cavalier, whereas Nikov has just the ability to flood knights. He's doing so from 5 stables. I think that's the right play from him. He could also think about Imp, but at this point, he can just keep up the pressure and make sure DauT and Slam have no chance to reboom.
Yeah, forget about DauT at this point. Just go in to kill Slam with all the knights if you have to. And the GGs are called, and it went back and forth all day. Aftermath will move on to the semifinals, and Gamer Legion B crash out. What a series, Leadacor. We actually called this scoreline before the series. We knew it would be this close.
Yeah, it was very close, and now we look back to the Arabia game where Bulgarians and Franks were just a so-some mismatched SIP combo, and it came down to the fact that it was a too easy win for Nikov and MBL compared to the other games on Arabia.
Yeah, well, this game here, well, I think that Persians might be slightly better than Burgundians in a lot of ways economically. I think Japanese are better than Vietnamese in a lot of ways, but we didn't see Japanese find much success on water. In fact, it was, in the end, Nikov and MBL who ended up clearing stuff out on water. Didn't see Japanese get as much value from their man-at-arms as they could have. And it's not to say that Slam played bad. I just think that MBL and Nikov just outplayed DauT and Slam in this particular game. First in defense with the man-at-arms, but also with that offensive barracks to block the walls, and then Nikov getting all the kills with the scouts. I think it was a great Civ matchup to end on because it was very close, and then the series was won with this game in complete execution from Nikov MBL.
Exactly. And I also feel like, after all, I think AM's draft may have been slightly better, especially from Pool 2 perspective. Like, they gave Burgundians, and they knew exactly how to exploit the weaknesses of Burgundians, super aggressive feudal age, and that forces Burgundians to spam scouts that they don't have bloodlines on. DauT lost 41 wills in this game and only killed 3.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's tough to say. I think that a lot of it comes down to how the game was played. And I think Nikov was just played perfect here in this particular game. MBL made it messy, and he was able to recover and do his role to get his expos out. But you think of Nikov's scouts, they were there a little bit faster. You think of his feudal time, they're a bit faster. Second TC, the Knights, everything was just Nikov outplaying DauT in that spot. But yeah, Aftermath, as you said before, I think they won the original TwoPools tournament 2 years ago. So congrats to them as they continue.
Exactly.